By the time you looked at the indicators, KIRUHURA had the worst access to HIV services in the country. And people were wondering, what is this first district which is having poor access? But you could not go, I don't know how many kilometers are from Omurunga to Rushere. Kilometers from Rurambira to Rushere. There was almost very poor access. And the staffing level by that time, by 2010, KIRUHURA district was at 21%, which was again one of the worst in Uganda. But now, of recent, we have improved that staffing level. Over time, we are now at 80%. The districts that we are beating, as most of the rest workers that you see are in China, we have recruited them in the last 10 years. There are only a few cadres who were there by that time. And then by the year 2010, the proportion of mothers delivering in the facilities, Chairman Yoroka Sanga, was only 12%. That means, where were the 88 mothers delivering, 88%, where were they delivering from? So only 12% of mothers they were delivering under our facilities by that year. But of recent, we have moved over time by intervening, like we shall be able to tell you. Right now, 89% of our mothers are delivering under skilled attendance. And that figure is actually, if you look at the region of Wankole, Solole, Mbarara City, and Bushenya ahead of us by end of last year. But by this year, we are almost starting up with them. This year that has just started. Now, next. Yeah, this one is just showing you, because this one, Chairman, when we even did community engagement, why are they at drug stock out? We have been ordering for drugs. If you look at that one, it is showing you that using quality improvement, whenever the drug orders we make, all my facilities order 100%. But we are going now to see the next one, which is talking about drug delivery this year, for you to understand what have been the challenges this year. Next. Now, this first column is showing you the dates in which NMS is supposed to deliver drugs. They are supposed to deliver drugs in 6 cycles. So the first cycle was supposed to have been delivered on 28th of August. The next cycle was supposed to have taken place on 21st of October, then this one, 19th December, and there. Those are 6 cycles. But what happened? The first cycle was delivered 3 weeks later that year. Late. 3 weeks late. That means there was some bit of delay. Now, the second cycle, which was supposed to have come on 21st of October, it came on 3rd December. That means this was delayed by 2 months. Now, the third cycle, which was supposed to have come on 19th December, it came on 3rd May. This was delayed by 5 months. Now, the first cycle, which was supposed to have been delivered on 14th February, it came again also on 3rd of May this year. This was also delivered by equivalent amount of time. Now, the same apply. Now, the cycle number 5, which was supposed to have been delivered on 12th of April, it came on 3rd of May. But here, it came on the form that the Center 4, the Center 3 did not get. It's the same situation that happened with what? With even cycle 6. It was also delivered only for Center 4. So what happened is, the challenges you have been facing, ladies and gentlemen, of drug stock out have not been from the district system. They have been from outside our system. Delivery from Kampala, and that's what the slide was supposed to explain that. Next. Yeah, then we go to the quality improvement. Yeah, Eliab and partners, and for all of this country, for some time, I've been preaching district quality improvement, district-led quality improvement. At the DHT and other sector, we have been doing quality improvement, which is led by the district, as opposed to led by partners. And for us, we believe that this quality improvement led by district is more effective, produce better results, and more effective, and is more consistent. And I'm actually happy that you have brought a very good M&E team from Egipaf to really probably be ambassadors of what I've been saying. We have been saying this for some time, but now it is today for you to see what I've been talking about. So we have been having this quality improvement, which is led by me and my PhD. And we have a system of analyzing data, not on quarterly basis, but on weekly basis. Data from facilities there is a quality improvement focus who gathers it on the critical indicators. We analyze it, and we are able to see what is happening in each area facility every week. Facilities, they also have their QI teams, and we also give them a feedback on a weekly basis, and it has helped us improve a lot in so many of the indicators, because we take actions on a weekly basis. So by the time we go to supervise the quarterly, we expect that so many actions have taken place. Next. We have a targeted QI coaching and mentorship in all of facilities, focusing on application of that method. Now, and I would like also to thank this time my partner, Tasso. I think Tasso, they are here. Yeah, Tasso, you have played a very big role, because when we were starting this, some partners took long to understand it. But Tasso was able to adopt it very fast, followed by Mayanja. And we hope as we are going on, even if HA is going to move to that level. Are you getting? We have seen the rest sector being transformed and being moved to the next level. You will see the next presentation I'm going to make next. We have NS awareness. I'm actually happy to see that this, like you have said. We hope that this kind of forum, which bring back all stakeholders, chairperson, district councillors, and sub-county people, we have NS ownership of the services. And you're able to give us our views, and we're able to improve the services by that. And you can go next. Yes, I've also told you that we functionalized the theater of KIRUHURA, that is 8 years ago. The one of Bukavu we functionalized in 2016. Then we handed it over. Then we have extended art services. I have already told you that the art services were only in Lushele, but we have extended them to every sub-county. But I think the only sub-county is of Renta, which have new art structures with support from Tasso. We shall extend them there and Ruabarana. At the moment they work. The facilities are handed over, I think, next month. But the rest of other sub-counties will put art services there, even in Rurambira down there. We have installed the solar with support from Ministry of Health. Solar in most of the maternities. And what also has been one of the most important game changer, we had so many distances in KIRUHURA where there were no functioning maternities. And with support from UGIFT funding, we have upgraded 5 of the center 2s original, 12 center 3s. And we have also, with support from Transitional Development, we have upgraded another facility in Rambira to center 3. So in the last 7 years, we have upgraded 6 facilities by even constructing 12 center 3. Then with support from Anga project, we have constructed a center 3 in what? In Ikeshunga. So you can see that we have been trying to close those long gaps so that the population gets the services they deserve. Next. Infrastructure. What have we done in infrastructure? I've already talked about it. These are completed facilities. You will be able to see the photographs as we come. It was completed, handed over like 3 years ago. Rurambira was handed over. Roysand is handed over. And there are very interesting results from these new handed facilities. It is showing you the population that was not getting services is actually clamoring, and they are coming for services. And even in Sweden we are handed over. And they are working now as the center 3s. We are also constructing a medical store by UPDF. But we have these 2 facilities, the Wabanata and Renta. They are ongoing and have been going. This is the 4th year. It's a bit unfortunate. We thought that this construction would take maximum of 2 years. But the problem, this all of you know, money has been coming, then it goes back. Going back. But we are actually happy that this time when the money came, actually it came when it was 2 weeks before the end of the financial year. So when we made the payment, the remaining money was supposed to have gone back. But I'm actually happy to thank Kao in absence here. You know why Kao is not here with us? Is that money has now been fixed on account in the Bank of Uganda. So we think that the contractor who I talked to yesterday, if he finishes this construction, now we can pay. Man doesn't have no travel back to Bank of Uganda. And the contractor is assuring me that by next month, we shall be able to hand over Ruabarata and Renta to the community officially. And that means this problem of equipment that has been kept where? It has overlaid in what? In KIRUHURA Town Council. I hope that next month will be sorted out and so on. Next. Yes, human resource. Yes, I'm happy to see that my friend from Equipa of Human Resource Expert is actually here. Some of the things we have done, and I think partners, some of the things we have done are not what is written in this guideline, but they have worked very effectively. Some of them are there, some of them are not what is there. But for the last, what I've also told you that for the last 10 years, we have been recruiting staffs. But when we realized that sometime back that so many mothers, very few were delivering in the facilities, we started now what we call focus recruitment. Like now what I can tell you that our staffing level is 80%, but we targeted to recruit midwives and doctors, and then I said, these ones are 100% now. Because why did we do that before we go for others? Is that our maternal indicators were so poor. So we wanted to make sure, as the DHO, I wanted to make sure that we recruit those midwives and put them in every sub-county, such that they can be able to accelerate our maternal indicators fast. Before we go for, so those cadres, the midwives, they are 100%, and the doctors. And we have also a forward attendance duty by staffs. I would like to thank the NE charges here. Every month, we analyze attendance. I think this, we also support, we would like UHA, which has supported even our HRIS. We analyze attendance and we pay salaries according to people who have attended. If you don't attend for 15 days, we don't pay money. And then you have to come and explain. Now, the other issue which we have also helped us to improve, which I think is not in many districts in the region, is that before me I appraise you, we have attached health sector indicators on your appraisal. If you were doctors, good, my doctor is here. When I was starting it with some of my doctors, initially it created resistance, but I'm happy where we have reached, they are the ones even bargaining for it. A doctor appraise you on number of senior sections you have performed. If you were midwife, we need to look at how many deliveries have you done. If you were clinical officer, how many TB? So these are sector indicators, we have tagged them appraisal over staffs. And that means before the staff is appraised, we need to make sure that they are actually working to get the sector indicators sorted out. Next. These are projects which I've already talked about, but we can talk more about them. That there is construction of a staff house in Rwanda and Rabarata. These are projects we did last year. Rabarata using if we are completed. We are handed over locally, but the district, I think, is going to come and launch officially. For the political leaders, you have not performed your function, but these houses are actually being slept in by the staffs. Because we could not have houses there, at the DHO, the staffs don't have where to sleep, and then I wait for the launch. For the launch, you can do it later, but the houses, under if the staffs are already sleeping there. Then we also have the construction of a staff house under KIRUHURA Center 4, which is being done by UPDF. And this one has delayed, but it has been done nicely. All stages, the quality of work is too good. And we hope that after that construction, they'll do some fencing of the KIRUHURA Center 4, which we shall be able to finish when we get more funding later. Now, we have also procured equipment. Now, for other facilities that have been constructed, the other 5 facilities that have been constructed under UPDF funding, they have got their own equipment. But now, when we looked at, like you are going to see later, when we looked at the amount of workforce that and the amount of work our workers are doing, we have got more equipment for maternal and child services to make sure that our maternities down there they are functioning properly. And this equipment has been delivered in all the facilities. I think there is the ongoing fixing of beds, which is that delivery beds and other equipment so that they are working properly. Next. Projects planned for this year, we have planned the construction of a staff house at Rambira, and we also planned completion operations of Rentam and Rabarata. I think they are solars. Though the staff house have been entered, but I think some solars are missing, and we hope that this year we shall buy the solars, put in those staff houses. And from Kanyariri, we are constructing a pit pit this year, which was a complaint from the chairperson of the city. Next. What are the other achievements that we have achieved? That all of my staff here, and I would like to thank the staff. You can clap for yourselves. When we are starting these kind of issues, staff, some of them they got confused. But right now, most of them they are the main supporters. They have imparted result orientation and the mindset of staff to get the results. They are the ones interested now to get the deliveries. They are now the ones interested to get the TB detected. You are getting me? Because they know if they don't get it, they have issues with their appraisals. There is also improved implementation of 5S, and we are seeing a lot of improvement, just like we are going to see in the rigid table next. Now, the last 5 quarters, what other decisions said, As we are here now, there is another performance review going on in Mbarara for this region of Angola. But the last 5 quarters, right from date of April to June 2022, so every quarter up to last quarter, KIRUHURA has been number 1 in Angola region. And that is why we have even invited people to say, stakeholders who have been part of this journey, that we need to be rewarded from moving from the bottom to where we have reached. That is in Angola region. We are now waiting to see what they are going to produce in Angola, but the Ministry of Health is doing what we call an annual health report, which is taking place in India. But we are going to get the results, I think, in 2 weeks. But my provisional results, like election coming from the Tele Center, KIRUHURA is still number 1 among the first 50 districts. And we are just waiting to see, we may end up being number 1 in the whole country because of that. So you can see the journey has not been easy, but we are just praying that if there is no ballot staffing in the Tele Center, we may end up being number 1. Next. But in Angola, at least in Angola, we are sure we are number 1 in the region. Next. Now, this is now trying to show you where we are moving for the last 5 years. Last year, we are number 3. The previous year, 2020, 2021, we are number 3. Kushenyi was number 1, followed by Manafwa. Then KIRUHURA was number 3. But this year that has just ended, you can see the journey we have moved. Where we were 5 years ago and now we have been moving. Make sure that we fix those gaps. You can see the rates that were here, and you can see the rates disappearing slowly. You move to yellow. And you can see this year that has just ended. We have only 2 yellows. This is was wrong plotting. It should have been green. Sorry, but you can see there's almost no red this year. So the indicators have been on upward trend. But most important for the other district, because they ask question, let me go to specifics. This one is about approved deposits, where we have been moving and we are now at 80% in the region. Immunization, we have been moving. And for the last 4 years, we have been at above 100%. But even this year, we are 108%. Now, we are 108%. That is the best in the whole of Angola region. By the way, the whole Angola is one of the worst in immunization in the whole country. So we are now an island. While we are 108, but all our districts next to us are doing poorly in immunization, including our neighbors with the council. But we have been able to sustain good immunization coverage and to thank the staff. The third one is the typical finding, Mr. Aruma. Yes. You realize that KIRUHURA one time we were doing poorly here during project. But when we say let us take over, yes, let us take over and manage it ourselves. And with support from TASO, I think we can clap for TASO once again. I called TASO and said, you are not the one to solve the problem. Let us solve it ourselves. Let us sit down and plan and tell you what is going to work. Don't come with a prescribed idea from your office. No. Let us sit down ourselves, analyze the problem, and we are going to give you solutions, then you fund them. And TASO actually complied with that. So with that compliance, we have been able to move this TB, which was doing poorly, and is now green. You can see now we are one time reached 26%, but now it gets finding 129%, which is also green. The other one is, this is Fansida, which is an indicator for malaria. And you can see we are in green, we are above the national target. And medical coverage, you can see where we are moving from. This one we had still Kazo with us, I think. But when the Kazo broke off, we went to yellow. I think that there was a contribution of Kazo and Kanoni. But right now we are back and we are at 83%. Deworming and Mebenda, you can see those greens, HIV and other indicators. This one is about measles, lipids coverage. The more negativity, the better you are. That means we are immunizing a lot of our people for children for measles. Maternal and prenatal test audit, you can see we are above 100%. And the one that was plotted red, wrongly, is wrong government assessment. Now, I want the stakeholders to understand this, even with other decisions. For the health sector, local government assessment contribute only 5%. So, for us, local government assessment, when we talk about assessment, this is the mark we go for assessment. But it's also used for the table for the health sector, okay? It contributes only 5%. That means for us, other sector, we need to do so many other things than other local government assessment. My worry has been, there is so much pressure for local government assessment, Now, for the rest sector, don't put much pressure on local government assessment only, because if you put assessment there, then you shall not perform well elsewhere. Are you seeing what it means? So that means we need to do local government assessment, but at the same time, be able to spread our effort elsewhere. Next. The next one is now very important for the sub-counties. I think that one is just showing the trends. Most of the trends are going up. Next. Now, sub-county performance. I think we can see, when we look at all of those indicators we have looked at, every sub-county has been moving. Sanga County Council is being chairman, you are number one. You know, we have had issues why we want even to engage you of people from Sanga sub-county turning against the rest workers. The amount of patients or clients going to Sanga has increased drastically. And therefore, your wireless workers are overworked. Are you getting? Now, when you get complaints, first understand that you are the best in the whole district. All your indicators, because of that, they have moved to 100% in terms of access. It's only the viral separation where you are still doing badly. But most of these indicators, you are at the top of the district. Therefore, before you turn against the rest workers, first understand that the rest workers are having a lot of burden and they are trying to get the results done. Now, KIRUHURA County Council being number 2, and then Kinoni being number 3. On the bottom, there is KIRUHURA, but KIRUHURA had its own issues of population, which may have affected us. Hope this year to be able to do better. But now I think that this has asked a question which I also want to answer here. I've also told you that deliveries we have reached 89%. From 12% some 10 years ago. This is overall for the district. You can see most of those indicators. IPT3 immunization 108. This is IPT3. Another, this is overall for the district. I'm going to give you the other presentation. Next. Now, this is also trying to show you, this is called comparing operations for serious section done in the Shere compared to KIRUHURA Center 4. I've already told you that almost 10 years ago, we were already doing scissors. 8 years ago, we opened up KIRUHURA at the Syrian area. And I think, I don't know that she was still around, but I'm even the one who performed the first scissor in that facility. And I'm actually happy to see that after convincing my doctors, Dr. Zaramamuzare, by the time Dr. Felix, Dr. Jerengeta, that we must be able to offer Syrian section to the community, so that they can be able to see that we are relevant. I'm actually happy to see that KIRUHURA Center 4 has been transformed over time. You can see that now KIRUHURA Center 4 did 184 scissors last 2 years ago. Now the other year 185. Then last year they had 200 Syrian sections performed at KIRUHURA Center 4, which is an improvement from the zeros we had before. And that means all of these mothers, honorable knows they were going to the Antonde, they were going to Barara for services. Now they can access the section within what? The district. Without paying money, and that means that's an improvement of their services. Rushere has also improved. So now KIRUHURA is ahead of Rushere. But it previously it wasn't Rushere doing scissors. But you can see KIRUHURA has improved and has overtaken Rushere in doing a number of sections in the district. Next. Now, that is the picture that I want us to spend more time to understand. Deliveries. It's showing you how, now this is the target. These are the mothers who must deliver in KIRUHURA district. And you can now see how the graph has been moving for the last 2 or 3 years. From the time we have been intervening. Just 3 years ago, 2021, 5,000 mothers, 600 delivered in our facilities. The following year, we improved 6,534. Now, the outgoing year, why it is even a cause for celebration, you can see this graph is almost reaching the target. Are you getting? So we have seen 8,565 mothers delivering in our facilities. Then we got to a deep dive, which my brother wants. Where have they delivered from? To understand what has been the impact of this. Can you go to the next slide? Where have they delivered from all of these mothers? Now, this is just showing you the trend over the year. We started off by 80%. But because of applying quality improvement, you realize that we ended up, by June, 99% mothers were delivering in the facility. But on average, it became 89. But if we remain like this, if we start this year like this, it means 100% of our mothers are going to deliver under strict attendance. But this has been the trend for that financial year. We kept on increasing, but what was important that every month we are doing what we call intervention. Now, the people of Rentham, you realize that, no, let me begin with the people from Luchere, and how happy is my counselor from Luchere. Because I was forced to open a maternity in Luchere against their will 2 years ago. my purpose was, even if the maternity still had a crack, me as the DHO, I know the mothers could deliver there. Not so? So I went and opened the maternity. Initially they were not happy, but I think now they are very happy with that. But now for Wentam people and Ruabarata, you can see that the new buildings are not yet open. Not so? But what we have done, we have improvised that delivering there. And you are going to see in the down there what has been the impact. But here, what was important, what we did here, I opened up a side room here in the rental. And it was a game changer. So, because now I had the equipment, but the maternity was not yet ready. So I had to open up a side room. That's one thing that we did. And the other thing we did, you have seen that we sent deliveries up to center too. We have somebody from Rwanyangwe. Rwanyangwe, yes. Rwanyangwe delivering an average of 20 mothers per month. Nyakaita here is delivering. Now we are trying to cut off mothers who are going to Liantone. And so those places we are trying to close them. Rwanyangwe, Nyakaita, and then these facilities that are not yet open, they are also contributing a lot of deliveries, including Rentam and Ruabarata. I'm happy to say that Rentam last month delivered 30 mothers, but we have not opened the building, the maternity. More than 30, and even Ruabarata. We are thinking that when we open them, what will happen? That means probably that number may actually go to like 50 mothers per month. Next. Now, that's also another where we need to spend more time to understand. You can see how mothers have been delivering in your facilities. Kanyalieru, for the last 3 years. This was the year before, next year, the other. Kanyalieru, you can see, you were still 57, 446. Last year, you declined slightly, 417. But most of the facilities are having an upward trend. Kashongi, where are my MCs? You can see they are moving from 590 to 540 for 821 mothers delivering there. That means a great number of these mothers who are crossing over to Mbarara now are accessing services in our district. Now, with Gemano, you can see we started it off like 3 years ago, 164, 136, but last year they went to 56. That is an improvement that we must be able to appreciate in quality improvement. And that means when we fix other things, they will also go to move to the next level. KIRUHURA, you can see because there is reliable Syrian sections, there's a spike there at 7th. I think you need to confirm what is this particular. Now, Chitula, they were one of the facilities that we upgraded. I remember Honorable Chairman Zima, in my first week in KIRUHURA, he took me to that facility. My first week, and he was saying, but Doctor, what shall we do here? Are you getting me? But you can see the Honorable Chairman Zima, this is a testimony that the facility which had nothing, when we upgraded, it's able to deliver this number of mothers now with the new maternity ward. And the question is, where were these mothers delivering before? Okay? Nyakisasara, it's spike again. Rurambira, you see, it started with 110, then 211. So an increment again. Ruesande is a miracle. It's also a miracle. I think I have seen my people from Ruesande here. Now, you can see from 27, initially there was no maternity. But now, the previous year, 207. Last year, 507 mothers delivered there. So you can see where were these mothers delivering before. It shows the real transformation and the fixing of the system that is going on. Ruabarata is another area where Honorable Kanyatoji comes from. You can see from 28 to 153. Last year, 338 mothers, 39 delivered there before we even opened the maternity. And even others. This is Sanga. The graph of Sanga is even higher. I hope you appreciate what is going on in your community, especially the political leaders, to understand that your population are being transformed. Next. Those are challenges which may be explained by even the second presentation, which you saw that graph. There was frequent drug stockouts. We lack any center for these are issues that I wanted to give the minutes, but the PS whom we delegated, I think, has been put on the way. These are issues that political leaders we must combine to solve together now moving forward. We must solve frequent drug stock. This is a country-wide issue. That means maybe beyond us. It has to be solved at national level because the stockouts were not only in Zula, but were everywhere in the country. But these ones must form your bargaining areas. I thought now the people from Kashongi. I know there was election. Kashongi formed the constituency. And the constituency was formed 7 years ago. But in between the campaign is, I don't see the real force of pushing for Center 4 there. So I wanted the team of Kashongi to push for Center 4. Then we also need a Center 3. That's why I wanted the PS here. We need a Center 3 in Akayanja, and we need also staff accommodation. Then the team of Sanga. I hope something was related here. But the team of Sanga, I believe those Sanga is not a constituency. It's a Center 4 on the main road. If you look at the number of mothers delivering there, around the Sanga, Kayanja, they cannot travel 70 kilometers to get operations done in Jura Center 4. You see what I mean? Happening? And when they are crossing over to Mbarara, the people of Mbarara, they do what? They complain. These people are supposed to get services right in KIRUHURA. So that means they need a Center 4 on the main road to cater for the population of Sanga, population of Kajera, population. So some of the challenges you are seeing, Chairman, and you are complaining for those workers there, it is an issue that we have to handle all of us. That we must ask for a Center 4 there, a Center 4 in Kashongi, and then we are able to make sure the population has better service. Next. Go back, because it's actually here. Go back. Many mothers, no, the other one. Many mothers at Sangale Center 3 and other facilities near the main road need the CMOG. CMOG, the doctors, who are here, critical emergency care. That means you need to have mothers having incidences done on the main road there. You cannot send a mother back to your center for that site. And of recent, Mara Hospital feels that mothers in our district should be delivered in our district. And that's why you get those kind of complaints coming in. Next. Recommendations are upgrading of Kashongi to the Center 4. Upgrading of Sanga to the Center 4 probably. Because of those, of course, for 6 years I've been a chairperson of DHOs, but now I've handed over office in February. But I know what you need. To me, I know what you need to strengthen this system. You're not going to strengthen this system by regional review and the region. You must try to make sure that the district systems work. If the district systems don't work, even if you take people to hotel all these legacy, as long as the district don't look at their issues themselves, you have problems in solving the problem. Then quality improvement should be supported. Minister should build the capacity of the regional sports division, and then training management committees. We hope that UHA is going to give us money and submitted our claim. UHA is here, we need the money to do this urgently. Now, that is, for those of you who attended last year, that is the photograph taken from last year, and things have been shared. I know my vice chairman here attended. I don't know whether they were appearing in this photograph. Then I see somebody here who was asking a question. Chairperson Kitura, are you here with us? Yes, she was actually making a submission. Next. Kitura, think Kitura team, you can see, this is your maternity, an upgrade plus a staff house, which actually contributing to that delivery. Next. Twere, this is the structure, modern structure in Twere, and this is the staff house, completed. And this is a completed structure in Rambida, which is also firing deliveries. Next. Wesande, you see, I told you Wesande, this one is producing miracles. 500 mothers being delivered. That is the structure. Wesande, 500 mothers being delivered there in 1 year. And yet, 4 years ago, they have not delivered at all. That means there was a need for the services that's now being fulfilled for that population. And that's the in charge moving, and this is the staff house. We are lucky that we have been able to construct the best staff houses there in Wesande. I think we have 4 staff houses. All the staff here are housed. Next. This is the one I'm talking about, the Rentham, which we believe is about to be opened. If the contractor does not let me down, he told me next month he may be able to hand it over, but he's doing the final finishes. This is the outside view. This is the other one, the internal view of what is happening in that maternity. Next. That is the maternity under construction in Wabarata, which we also think that if everything goes well, next month will be handed over. Or if the contractor, because also doing final finishes and we have this money. Next. That is also completely staff house, which the staffs are now sleeping in. This was part of that team. Launching the equipment that were put in the maternity center to function better. District leaders, all of them were there. You know what I see? Who else was here? I think apart from the leaders, apart from I think some of the leaders were there. Next. Equipment were broken, improved delivered and skilled attendance, and improved the service for children under 5. They are even weighing scales. I think most of these people were immunizing, but we are not weighing scales. So we are also giving them weighing scales to improve immunization. Next. We thank National LPHS that has given us a new motorcycle to improve. Initially, we had one motorcycle to transport samples, but we are grateful that we have given us a second motorcycle to what? To make sure that, because KIRUHURA is a big and you need at least one, something that these riders can cover. So this was the chairman now launching it, the motorcycle. Next. That's an ambulance that we got, which we never had before. I think we got in the last 2 years, to make sure that improves transportation of mothers who are affected. Next. Now, acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge the support of all the stakeholders as above. Minister of Health in absentia for accepting to give us that funding, especially the one that has constructed those structures that have actually made access easy. The World Bank government, you have done your part, and even posters for past leaders to know that your contribution is actually being acknowledged today, to see that you have made a lot of work transform KIRUHURA where we are. I've talked about LPHS and college, especially for supporting a district-led programming approach to quality improvement. That is very, very important. District-led programming produces better results than parallel programming. I'm very grateful to my colleague and brother, Dr. Mayanja, for the support you have given for malaria, for the malaria engagement, and follow-up and better. Actually, for you, even him, we support district-led programming. And he knows that when you go to what Dr. Kamil said, he's going to give you instructions. But I'm actually happy about my partners today, that over time we are moving the journey, that we are able to celebrate where we are celebrating now. UPMB, and especially even for the support you have given us to have such a forum. Just like what other districts have told you, how many districts in this region are having such a meeting? Probably no. For us, we are having now the 5th. We started off slowly, I think 5 years ago by a small function, which was in the last one. Then we started negotiating with our partners, but the last 3 or 4 years they have been funding this. And we are grateful for that. UHA, we are grateful for the support. I had anxious moments yesterday, but UHA was able to solve them. But my people have already been invited.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Na nabagambire ngo kutiga turant kuri mu yitu akwaru mutajya batakunda mu mokwe ngo kwa kwetahira batwinyusho but I believe all of us like and love our jobs or assignments, whether political or technical. Makuru mshoro byahandikirwe konka abantu bakizakizana namwe urumva kandi ndijo kugira ngo cyangwa kugira ata cyakumukiza kandi cy'umusitani akaba bagira bata bakizakizana namwe na Dr. Kanyazi cy'indacumbi no kuri mu mukwe namwe bakwata amakaza kituma niko kwanjerana modelo munga n'izindi mwebari yenda kugira abatagana yakiraho mu ngero y'umutano ngumurigo gumutano ngiro n'ugana umwe harumu Deputy Mayor Sanga Town Council, so we can stand up for recognition. Mzee wa kazi retired but not tired. Kama mzee wako n'umuntu w'umutano tikumanya this is fifth during the review mission he has never missed. Kwa ekitukia mzee ibani mureba na kana bera batiko kuteka kumukino kwe konka pia kwa roke y'abantu kabo ebi ko hotubere because he's educated serve his people. Na kumanyiswa mpile kao wa KIRUHURA. He has been represented by none other than Noamanya Bright Mranjera. Kando kuna sababu the chief wa Nyakashasha ya representing na kao. Wa asha sima kwa mtongeta leo bisho kutoka kama akabali na RDC kwa kula. Hakiki to za zamani. Kandi yangu kaoti yako rashobe. Na nama nisiba kujya ngomba chief subona ngo bare kwa singe bicho birungi. Na mbona akashire kubaka fazi. Matero mungaro. Yes. As mu nareba sub county chief wa Kashonji sub county. Mwana ira Steve. Abantu bakashonji abantu bakashonji tusimisa egombora yitu. Akati ya person the chairperson or chairpersons LC series in the entire district. Umwami kakiza Charles huyu abantu leba kulia mama na ile mingi ndio sana chifu wetu hata wano tambara ukora bara bamu wabuka na chifu wa Kashonji nuko bataka ngo chief none ngikwe chief yes mwana nawe Steven ni bishobora ngo hubira abantu numureba size ni yejo tinga nisha chief nare mu secretary accountant for Harris umwami kakwirwa Nicholas wa is there secretary for Harris nare mu ndi umuntu mukuru ayona atahamu district councilor for Nyakashara sub county kandi minister for finance abacho wa district mwami Rogers Asimwe. Thank you for coming. Yes. Arondi jo muntu mukuru ndayona atahamu nawe and he's supposed to be with me here. He's the MC. He's my boss. Even if you sit on that chair, of course, he's my boss. The MC where is over. Mukuru wisho njo ninga speaker ninga kagambiriza wisho njo ya KIRUHURA honorable says netwari. Pero por eso yimuka bakorera yakuru muko ayikabapakaraza. Yes. Thank you very much for coming. Abadalisha chakwa nimba tunapora para coming to Banjura. We are going but let us continue the program because there's of time. We are going to agenda number 8. The shout to the legend. That is presentation on feedback from community engagement meetings. And it will be presented by Mr. Godfrey Magneza. That one is Assistant HO in charge of environmental health.
Protocol observed. My name once again is Magneza Godfrey, Assistant District Health Officer, Environmental Health. I want to welcome you to the 5th GRM, KIRUHURA District. Slide. Our presentation outline will be introduction, findings in community engagement.
I'm sorry to interrupt my boss. Konga na tukumanyiswa twamanyise press zo convenience. Engage kandi cyo chukuru. So ngwe no mwanya guri no rushuma steps ahansi ukora sa engage. Ahapa. Notaizo kabara abandi mukashaka guhadra handi. Kumanya pictures.
Our community engagement, we shall look at the introduction, the positive findings we found in the community, the issues, and then the recommendations, and if possible, there will be a discussion that will be led by the speaker. Another slide. So, introduction. KIRUHURA District has over time used continuous quality improvement to achieve quality service delivery. And now, we have also looked at the community. And we are saying focus at what community calls quality can further better service delivery. So we want to take the quality improvement to the villages now, to the communities. And if we all know, I believe that actually, much as the government says health center 1 is a village, but for me, I believe it is a household, homestead. And when we move to the communities and engage them, we can better improve health service delivery. And with the support from Mayanja Memorial Hospital Foundation, we have held many community dialogue meetings and specifically to identify issues and also identify what they think we have done better and what the issues that can be solved. And what does community engagement entail? We are saying that community engagement or participation is the process by which individuals and families assume responsibilities for their own health and of the community they live in. We are trying to tell that one, that it is not the only of the work of the health workers, but rather than community members. And we are also saying that community engagement can lead to overcoming cultural barriers to health. It can better communication with communities, because once health workers are interacting with the communities, yes, understand each other, and Another slide. We are saying that also community engagement creates an opportunity for communities to participate in the planning for their healthcare services. It increases sense of empowerment, belonging, identity, and satisfaction, increases knowledge of health services offered at various levels. This was actually a challenge, where someone had a cesarean section scar and wants to deliver in health center 3. So we are trying to address those issues. Issues affecting service delivery during this engagement we have discussed. Some were responded to by some stakeholders, and we believe there are others that we can discuss and respond to. Another slide. We found positive findings, which we are greatly happy of. Community actually, the feedback, they said, community was happy with the improved service delivery in most sub-counties. They reported improved availability of staff, youth staff improvement. They reported outreaches being conducted as planned. And also, we realized that mothers were gaining confidence in delivering from health facilities, privacy, because of the new structures, and community was happy with the new upgrades of the health facilities. However, on the other note, there were issues that we found, and we interpreted as follows. We have issues, we have recommendations, and this is KIRUHURA Town Council. The issues in KIRUHURA Town Council, there was lack of clear information concerning what is transpiring at health facilities, leading to community negative criticisms. And the recommendation was political leaders to always visit their health facilities, get the right information from right sources, which could be disseminated to the community, DEC and SEC to demand for reports from HUMIC. HUMIC represents the community, and they are actually selected by the DEC and SEC. So they are a link. They are actually supposed to bring feedback. We realized that politicians understood issues differently with HUMIC. HUMIC understanding while politicians were not understanding in the KIRUHURA Town Council and actually Kenshonga. The other issue was health unit stakeholders working in isolation, and they lacked giving feedback to the political leaders, and we said the health workers, HUMIC, and the political leaders work as a team to sustain the already good performance in the district. This is still to allegation of extortion of money from patients. It was in the community, and finally we realized it was due to assisting patients when there is a stock out. And we recommended that when there are supplies or stock outs, health workers should explain to patients to buy medicine rather than buying for them, because it was interpreted as extorting money. Yet, as you saw in the DHO's presentation, there has been a severe stock out, and that one was interpreted as extortion. Inadequate toilet facilities at KIRUHURA Health Center 4, actually OPD, outpatient, has only one toilet, 2 stances, and we say there should be a plan for having another pit latrine at KIRUHURA Health Center 4. Only one toilet with 2 stances for all the patients. This is the Retamu. We noted that some mothers were still delivering in the villages, in the communities, and our recommendation was community sensitization on the dangers of delivering at home be done, and also completion of new buildings to provide adequate space and privacy. Actually, the thing was, now they are delivering in a small structure, and privacy was limited. So we need to sensitize and also hasten the construction of the structure. Health workers not working in weekends came up as an issue and coming late, and absenteeism, especially of the statutory staff. We left this issue to the in charge and HUMIC to manage accordingly. Stock out of surprise. Actually, we realized in Rwetamu that they treat people of Zimbabwe, and this one causes a stock out shortly after the delivery. And we said, give priority to Rwetamu during this drug redistribution. Whenever other facilities have excess, we should be able to collect and give priority to Rwetamu, and district management team will do that. HUMIC not understanding this is Kashonji. HUMIC not understanding its roles and responsibilities. DHO has already mentioned that. There is an ongoing engagement or orientation by the in charges, the DHT, and we intend to have an orientation meeting. This was that orientation meeting which DHO talked of was as a result of community engagement and feedback. Lack of OPD, latrine, SAS and chair are showing new OPD doesn't have a pit latrine, and it was a concern, so it should also be planned before. The stakeholders should think of that. It is very important. It was a concern from the community when they come to the health facility. There is a new OPD outpatient. It doesn't have a pit latrine. No number of patients outpatient, increase the number of outpatient, no, lack of, admission space, no inpatient. They don't admit in Kashonji. And the reason was the OPD is small and there's no space for admission. And the answer or the recommendation was road pay for upgrading the health center 3 to health center 4. It is actually demanding and needed. A community not fully aware of services offered at the health facility, much as if even when we put it in writing that these are services offered, people don't read and actually don't know all the services offered. And the recommendation was community be sensitized whenever they are at the facility and when they are also in the communities during community engagements. And this was like in Buro. There was the same challenge of HUMIC not understanding their roles and responsibilities. That one will be addressed as well as they said. There is an accumulated bill, the requested bill. This one was from HUMIC chairperson of over 26 millions, which has remained unsettled. And we recommended that there should be a plan, a phased plan, to begin clearing the bill. If we can't settle it at once, but a planned plan by stakeholders, small, can end up settling this big bill of 26 millions. So stakeholders, and also engaging other relevant stakeholders that we may not know. But I think maybe RBC and other politicians may know for Kanyariero, Mboro Kanyariero. Stockouts, that was explained very well and what caused it. No health facility motorcycles, it was mentioned by DHO, most health facilities, over 10, 7 health center 3s and 4 health center 2s don't have motorcycles. This was Sangha. In Sangha, there was emerging and persistent conflict between health workers and communities. Our clients seeking health care services, and we agreed the action was stakeholders to devise measures of resolving conflict between health workers and community using the simplest possible means of existing governance structures for better service delivery. Simple case, not police. Doesn't improve or better our services. That's what we recommended. There was increasing drug stockouts at Sangha Health Center 3, and actually this was causing community dissatisfaction. And we recommended that the community, through community representatives, should be informed whenever medicines are received and when they experience stockouts, so that there's less of that conflict. Still at Sangha, there was expectation for services not offered at the health facility, which is causing conflict between health workers. Someone believes, even if it means kushemeza ashemere kuzariraho wamurifaringa buriya wambinga ubungu wanje kandi ashemere kubona ashemezibwa. So we twajanga abantu babashomese, create awareness of services that can be offered at the health center 3, and also there is a need to upgrade so that people can get the required services. There was also an issue of an ambulance provided by the Rotary Club that did not have fuel. Rotary Club kahasanga ambulance chonka maintenance n'amajuta abantu bamwe ambulance yaberuko buri n'amajuta gashimira kubaho. And we recommended that the town council and the health unit management committees should devise the ways of how this ambulance system can be managed and fueled. Engineer wa Sangha sub-county tukashanga nabo abashumiki batakumanya emirimo yabo or their roles. There was also, much as you saw, increased deliveries. There was only one midwife, and I think DHO is going to act on that. We are saying there is need for a second midwife. Atahana Akora, Gashesha Buira, day and night, and DHO will handle that. Staff houses, much as the government is constructing, but over 100% are not housed or staffed at health facilities. Stock out of supplies. Community not aware of all services offered. It is a repetition. No uniform for VHTs. More communities have VHTs where they have identification. Eziba atungire zikakura. So there is need for uniform. Maybe IP support would help here, as they have always done. Low pit latrine coverage in the sub-county, including the trading center where the health facility is located. This one is being addressed. The district has put a program of community-led total sanitation and responding to this gap. I think it has started, and we hope to improve pit latrine coverage this year. Acknowledgement to Sima Kao, Sima Deck, and the political leaders for the enabling environment kutwikiriza tukakora imirimo yaitu yo guhereza bwa health services. Kila munonga, I want to thank also Mayanja Memorial Hospital Foundation for supporting community engagement activities, amongst many other activities that you support in the district. Thank you for listening.
Mr. Godfrey Munyaneza for that presentation. Presentation yeni guru munonga abo kuba yanagamba ebiri habrawundi. Yipeka beno ya mwanya byanagamba kandi wenda muje mgiye kumwabuzamu, you ask questions. Ninga raising other concerns yangu katereza mutaho mpaho. During his presentation inabantu batahamu kandi nzera kubakira kandi tukabajura n'ubundi okubanza rya person wakanyagera sub-county Mr. Kashaka, senior citizen. Yes. karuwara kazwana ati umambijiri mwaje mutahe chairperson au kusema mwana w'uburo mwambujiri aine byafayo byinji na mwana bene ramanye byafayo bwafurona sawa kayo na korora kimwe moye ati ro that is straight ndamu kwa mijoji bakuna ndava ni bwafurona sa that is straight bana bakuna kubare bagira mani that political history very very important. So thank you very much Mr. Bujiri for coming to attend this fifth joint review mission for the sector in the district. Onijo mtu mkora ya hamu ni chairperson wa Eastern Sub County. That is none other than Leocadia Piakatundu. Maybe you can stand up for recognition. Yes. One level kumkazi alijesha kuchajia msiru regular. She's not regular. Wala kama ni mingi leo mbona tukozelete. Kandi I also am here to report to you chairperson as if we have just entered. Stora has represented is at 100%. This student councillor is here, Jennifer Rukundo. Jennifer Rukundo, you can also stand up for recognition. Ora chitama negeine. What should I ask to transfer to Stora? Maybe I should Stora kubi. In charge ya chief wa Chikalwe Banza. Very punctual. So we thank that sub-county. Let's go back to the agenda. Presentation from IPs. Maybe before they present, you can see Gordon, are you ready? I can take you to, yes, I can take you to history. Why are IPs important? Implementing partners or development partners. In 2001, so Amahanga Agum Africa. OAU, Africa, Organization of African Unity. Because Nigeria, Abuja, by then the president, Akar Olusegun Obasanjo, His Excellency, our president, Akareba, Jaba Kajama Kisimija Bantoma Nigeria, by Yogubi, Goyanja, is what RDCC and Agambo, HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and other infectious diseases. Bajankatu Ijaha, and Uganda was represented, every represented in Abuja in 2001. Bajarangu, can they, decisions but they say they made a resolution to allocate 15% of national budget to health. But in some countries, that one has not been realized, including our country. But there are other needs or priorities is what we have money. So now when we see these partners, when they come to support us, they bridge that gap. Of headers. That's why we want, in a very special way, thank our partners for bridging that gap. Fund some of the priority areas, and no, HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and other infectious diseases. Akeza ndwara, ari tsuke nazigama. Tekana samu munonga, habesho mazire zindi, obworo mbantu, okasirimu, that one includes vulnerability, kakuza musirimu, jankarana, okujja kubi, malnutrition, ebindi, ngebindi ngwerezi. Ngebi ya corona. So when we see these partners, as one to basira chumwe, abukwe hayo supporting. And the chairperson RDC and other stakeholders also wish to report to you that our partners are not burdened. No burden, they are all productive. That's why we are celebrating this achievement. They have helped us for these good results. Thank you all partners, and let's hear from them.
Thank you very much. My name is Nimrod Kamsime. I work with the Mayanja Memorial Hospital Foundation, and along with me came a team from Mayanja Memorial Hospital Foundation. Where you work, kindly raise your hand as we share this progress. Mayanja Memorial Hospital Foundation is a sub-recipient of TASO Uganda Grants Management Unit with funding from the Global Fund to fight malaria, tuberculosis, and HIV. Our mission in KIRUHURA is to reduce the burden of malaria. Mayanja is headquartered in Mbarara, where you see a purple circle is our area of operation. This activity is happening in 10 districts, and we are glad that KIRUHURA is among the 10 districts, as you see it highlighted right there. I'm going to request that I use your pointer. Thank you. So right there is where we are in districts including Bushenyi, Shemarubirizi, Kazo, KIRUHURA, Kasese, Chitagwenda, Kamwenge, Rwengo, and Lyantonde. And overall, we work with up to 8,600 VHTs to fight this malaria. And as you see, over 289 public health facilities and others. Timothy, I'm going to need your support. Kindly move the slide. So as we do this, we would like to appreciate the support of the district leadership and the district health team that have enabled us to do this. Key among our interventions that are supported include SPCC for malaria prevention, case management, including integrated community case management in both public and private health facilities, health system strengthening, both community and health facility, and support for monitoring and evaluation, which includes data quality and data utilization. So in KIRUHURA specifically, it is full scale, all the 14 lower local governments, and we engage with 614 VHTs attached to 18 integrated case management health facilities. And our engagement is not only limited to these 18, we also work with up to 14 private clinics and also 28 drug shops. The key interventions or activities include training of VHT supervisors. These are health workers attached to health facilities. Training of VHTs on ICCM. We initially trained 614, but we've of recent, actually this last quarter, trained an additional 102 VHTs that had never been trained. So they had a 5 days basic training. We had training of health providers from private health facilities, both on quality, diagnostic and treatment for malaria. We routinely support reporting and data cleaning. And as you notice from the DHO's presentation, ICCM reporting for KIRUHURA is 100%, all through. Across the 14 lower local governments, we scored 100%. And then the VHT coordination meetings, they have their quarterly coordination meetings with health facilities, and that is a key pillar in the integrated community case management. As you noted from the ADHO's presentation, we've supported targeted community dialogues for prevention of disease, not only malaria. Even when we have this resource for malaria, it can be ridden on to deal with many other health issues at community level. And then support supervision, a series of them, district health team facilities, health facilities to communities and VHTs, and all these activities that have been supported. Next, quickly. So just a quick brief, with the indulgence of the DHO, he allowed that we could share this, and this is a trend of malaria over the last 35 weeks of this year. The country has been dealing with an outbreak of malaria overall, and KIRUHURA is not an exception, but we are glad to report, first of all, to appreciate our health workers, that our reporting, surveillance reporting, is up to 100%. consistently, and we are the best in Ankole in reporting. That is very true. And as you can see, this dark line is about reporting. I think these isolated few weeks, about 4 weeks out of the 35 weeks of this year, the lowest we've gone in reporting is 96%. 4 out of 35 weeks. And I think that is something to applaud. The malaria cases, this blue line you see, is a plotting of weekly malaria cases. And whereas we had an issue, as we noted, that there is a national outbreak, we see the malaria cases consistently coming down towards the plotting in the normal channel. So this is good progress, and we hope that as we progress into going to December this year, we should see this line, if we keep this trajectory, and especially that the government has now provided us with mosquito nets. We hope that our communities suffer less malaria. Next slide, please. This is a depiction of sub-county distribution of malaria cases. These are the absolute number of malaria cases that we've had since week 1 of this year in January up to this is plotting up to 3rd September 2023. As you can see, the most cases of malaria are being contributed by Kashonji, followed by Chitura, KIRUHURA Town Council, Kenshunga, and others, as you can see. These are the absolute numbers of malaria cases. And now that we have our leaders from sub-counties, let's make effort to engage our communities. However, these cases, when subjected to the population, the burden of malaria is highest in KIRUHURA Town Council, Kenshunga, Rwetamu, Chitura, and Rueshane. These are the 5 sub-counties or 5 lower local governments that are plotting a malaria burden above the national target. Because the national target for this year is not more than 101 cases out of every 1,000 population. So these sub-counties have a burden that is plotting above the national average. So you will notice that even when sub-counties like Kashonji are contributing the highest numbers, they also have a high population. So the burden is only 75 for every 1,000 people. So these sub-counties are sub-counties that need to be supported and worked with to improve the burden of malaria. Next. So some of what has enabled this performance, you notice that out of 14, 10 sub-counties are actually with a low malaria burden. And this has been progressive work. So some of the enablers include coordinated interventions, which have been supported by the leadership of the district health team, and also, as noted earlier by the DHO, the district-led planning and execution of activities. Vigilance at community level, increased community engagement. For example, a case of Kashonji, when we started in 2021, Kashonji was plotting the highest number of cases and the highest malaria burden. But we see it is now in nearly about position number 7 in the district. So if we can have as much community engagement as has happened in Kashonji, we should be able to see this malaria burden coming down. Commitment of the VHT supervisors, these are health workers, and involvement of leadership at sub-county level has also supported that, and a committed team of VHTs. As you noted from the DHO's report, 100% of all our sub-counties are reporting what VHTs are doing. There's been enhanced data use, quarterly performance reviews, and also including the private service providers in this. You know, a lot of our people seek services in the private sector as well. So these have been key in being engaged. And then, some availability of resources and people getting it timely as they do their work. Next. Some of the issues noticed, there were stockouts. If you could see in the malaria normal channel, there's a time when there was a depression around the month of April and May, and there were no testing kits, there were no drugs. So some of those are issues that cause a depression. There's a bit of late seeking of treatment for malaria among our people, and thus causing malaria management to be complicated, where people need admission. Some of our people don't think they are susceptible to malaria and therefore don't sleep under mosquito nets. And non-compliance to prevention and treatment guidelines, especially among the drug shops in private sector, where they do underdosing and sometimes over-treatment. Even for simple malaria, they want to admit. Next. And then maybe a few issues for improvement. We hope to continue engaging these communities with the involvement of all of us, so that every opportunity there is of a platform in the community, let us preach malaria, so that we have less people dying and being bedridden from malaria. Emphasis on additional malaria prevention interventions, so that people are not only looking at mosquito net usage. Increase community sensitization and awareness creation among communities, so that they're able to seek treatment early, and then continued and enhanced involvement of sub-county leadership. Our senior brothers and sisters in leadership of sub-counties, the communities believe a lot in what we say as leaders. So let's have malaria included in all platforms for community interaction. And finally, continued and enhanced data use is key for us to monitor these trends by health facility, by sub-county, so that we're able to have timely intervention where we seem to have outbreaks of malaria, especially in these 5 sub-counties that were highlighted. I thank you very much. This is what we had for malaria. Over to you.
Abonaba mayanja injamu tuket madelengaro, so they are our good partners. And I am Jurumu Togo Tukora na waha wabatakizira Mwamugodoni. He has been with us and is staying with us. He's well felt and has produced results. Obuna adia tuna yanjura chairperson na LC5 ukuba speaker ataka injilizi protocol bajya mu chairperson LC5 ayuchube speaker ngayanchiriza mwanjure, and that is none other than right honorable right Moria honorable Kagodano Tetelia Nambo Imuke Dr. Rumunga Araka Kumanya Dr. Rumunga ekiniza kukigamba abokuba abo police bajamba bakozi ba government mutazo politics public staffing orders ebindi nkejo mbumanya public standing orders okawa kuna abantu kibagamba kandi okakigamba omwanya ko gunoti ni mushango. Yes. So abantu bagamba ki no kujya ku cya person wa KIRUHURA akine vibe. Yes. Vibe ni kigambo cy'urujungu, the quality of being sensed and felt on ground. One of our useful cya person to see 5. Nyamutero Mungaro, the man is doing his work. I personally follow him on Twitter. I tell him to you including Instagram. And when you really follow him, he's doing some good work for the people of KIRUHURA. If I would, but I don't have powers. But yeah, we wish you success in your endeavors, in your political endeavors. Yes. Yes. The next IP to present is a TASO. Yes, UHA? Yes. UHA, yes. Uganda Health Certificate. A new partner is almost like 1 year old and is promising. Yeah, they haven't. 6 months old? Yes. Thank you.
We are still infants. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Amazina Nanayanjwe Konkawa Kateizre, Eyabana Tumanya, and I work for Elizabeth Glazer Pediatric AIDS Foundation. Now, like he said, Uganda Health Activity was just awarded in December. So we spent the first few months after the award setting up offices, submitting our plan USAID. So what I'm going to talk about in this presentation is mainly what we promised to deliver in the coming 5 years. So then that I think should be a basis of our discussion, but not so much about what we've done, just like our colleagues from Ayanja has made a presentation. So as I present, please have that at the back of your mind. Next slide. So the goal of Uganda Health Activity is to increase the survival and well-being of vulnerable populations. Please mark the word vulnerable. We have quite a number of them in this region, and we'll be speaking to them as part of this presentation. So we've been focusing a lot on the entire population, but the focus of UHA specifically is on population who are vulnerable. There are quite a number. We have teenage girls, we have pregnant women, we have refugees in Sinjiro. So their ability to access health services is a bit compromised by the nature of the fact that they are vulnerable. Next slide. So before I could talk about UHA, I felt it's important that I can talk about some of the achievements that Right Southwest registered. Of course, Dr. Kamia talked about this in detail, but I thought it wouldn't be a good thing for me to talk about UHA, because UHA builds on the successes that were registered by Right Southwest. Some of us know that there were about 5 rights. There was Rights EC, Rights East to Eastern, there was Rights North Lango, there was Rights North Acholi, and also had Rights Southwest, which started in 2016. And Right Southwest will officially be closing on the 30th of September this year, which is a few weeks away from now. And we've had a very good working relationship with KIRUHURA, this local government, through, of course, the DHO's office. And I think at some point about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, we did transition work on HIV specifically to TASO and local service delivery activity. TASO for the public facilities, and then local service delivery for the PNFPs. In this case, I think in KIRUHURA you have Family Health Resource Center as well as the hospital. So quickly, I think, without going into the details, I think we were able to register women who come into antenatal early within the first 12 weeks after they get pregnant. We saw an improvement from 17 to 46. Facilitated delivery, as Dr. Kamia has talked about it, it has really grown, and I think last week the government released the results of the demographic and health survey. It was interesting to see that actually, when you look at service delivery data, the numbers seem to be the same. And then perinatal death, these are children who are dying just after birth. So we've seen that out of the 1,000 women who would deliver in KIRUHURA, the number reduced from 25 to about 3. That means in KIRUHURA, if you had 1,000 women delivering, we will only see about 3 women die, rather 3 children die, which is a very good thing. And then we also did HIV services. We increased the number of individuals receiving ART for HIV treatment from about 2,000 to about 7,000. And then HIV pregnant women are a focus for us, so that we can give them interventions to minimize the chances of their children getting HIV. By the time we we transitioned to TASO. 100% of all women who identify in KIRUHURA, we are giving them ARVs to prevent HIV transmission from them to their infants. And then viral suppression, which is a very, very important indicator of how well our program is doing for HIV. We've seen a very high viral suppression. These are the number of people who have who have basically had their good treatment, they are taking their ARVs very well, and essentially their chances of being transmitting HIV to their sexual partners significantly reduces because of the high viral suppression. And I think the last time I checked, this was about 93, that was at the end of March. I want to imagine that we are closer to the UNAIDS target. UNAIDS want us to ensure that at least 95% of our people on ART have a viral suppression. We worked with Dr. Kamya, I think, on reporting. He agrees with me that we've done a very good job, and that even some of these results we see that seemingly are not very poor, like women receiving ARVs from zero. It may not necessarily have been zero. It might have been an issue of sites not reporting. I'm happy that Nimrod from Mayanja has also talked about the improvements that have been made in ensuring that communities submit reports. Most importantly, he talked about malaria, Nimrod, and he talked about malaria from the perspective of the community. But our work as Right Southwest, we are doing a lot at facility, and mainly focusing on the children who are under 5 and also pregnant women, because we know malaria is one of the major causes of deaths amongst pregnant women, but also amongst the children in this category. So we saw that we were able to give women FANCIDAP, which is preventing malaria when they are getting pregnant, from about 37% to 87%. And these were women who are coming into the antenatal clinic. So quite a lot that we did, but I also want to say that as I present, UHA is not the same as Right Southwest. Because as you saw, most of the elements for Right Southwest, we gave them to TASO, we gave them to Mara Hospital, and the others we gave them to LSDA. So UHA has 3 broad goals. One of them is increasing access to and equality of services, local ownership and leadership. I can't more than speak about this. The mere fact that we have politicians, we would really want to work with you, and we've already started the journey. I think we had our launch, I think, around March in Mbarara. We invited RDCs, we invited the LC5, and our desire moving forward is that we are able to engage at that level because of the resource that you have in ensuring that the vulnerable people I talked about have access to services. We do not create systems, so we want to make sure that what's available at facility, at DHO's office, at community is what we are working with and strengthening it, because the system which is strong enough is what we can leave behind. And I'm sure the results I talked about, we don't expect that there is going to be a decline in terms of the performance that has been registered jointly between Right Southwest and the DHO's office, because we've moved a step and we are building systems, we are not creating systems on our own. Next slide. So quickly next. So UHA is a big project in terms of, not in terms of money, but in terms of geographical scope. I mean, when I compare it with the resources that Right Southwest had, Right Southwest had a little bit more resources, but UHA doesn't have as much resources as we had, for reasons again, like we've given work to Mara Hospital, TASO, and then LSDA. So you'll notice that this is our Southwest where we work. So for the first time, we have subdivided the region into Chigezi, which you see, and then Akole. And then of course we have Acholi, we have Lango, we have Usoga region. This is the Bugisu region, and then you have the Karamoja region. So in each of these offices, regions have offices. So these are 72 districts, quite huge, spread in 7 regions. Next slide. So these are the key things that we are going to be focusing on. The issue of gender and youth, I think we know that we are challenged so much. Again, when I look at the results of last week from the Uganda Demographic and Health Survey, it seems like more than 20% of our teenagers get pregnant, and that's really a challenge. We need to resolve it, and that's, I talked about a vulnerable group. Local capacity development, we want to make sure, as usual, train healthcare workers, train communities, and I'll be speaking about how we are going to work with other partners like Mayanja. The issue of local ownership and accountability, that's the issue of leadership and governance I talked about. I think our colleague from community talked about the HUMIX. We are very much interested in training in leadership and governance. I think for like the Faro State, we've already done like the orientation for the board. If they don't know what to do, that's part of what UHA we can do. So for purposes of ensuring that they really know what to do, because we shouldn't make somebody accountable for what they don't even know. Next slide. So partners, some of us have been used to us as ECPA for quite some time. I think I met Dr. Azramzar. I started working with him I think like almost 15 years ago. So we've been implementing that. We implemented Star Southwest, we implemented Right Southwest, which is closing, like I said. But now this project UHA is going to be led by URC. University Research Company is a prime, but then we have other partners who are going to be working with URC. We have CDFU, we have Maristops. I think we are so much used to Maristops in this region. We have youth engagement and gender inclusion partner, again, because of the youth that I talked about that are critical. And then you know us very well, having worked with TASO, transition work to them, and LSDA, so we are still there. But we are being led by URC, like I said. And then we have the Family Health International, which will be doing a lot of the non-HIV services, which were being done by ECPA. As you remember, some of the results are presented, where some of them not on HIV. Next. So offices, like I said, we have offices in each of the regions. So for the first time in Southwest, we opened an office in Kabale. It is fully functional. Next slide. We intend to work with you and put political leaders on top intentional. I talked about issues of leadership and governance and accountability. The central ministries, Mbarara General Hospital is a very key partner in this collaboration. They have funding, first of all, from the US government for their HIV work, but they are expected to also operationalize the hub and spoke model, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. The DHO facilities and communities of course including partners working at the community like Mayanja and the others. Next. The above site mechanisms, I'll talk about some projects which operate at the center that we work with, but also most importantly, UHA is working to rights. Like I said, rights is closing out, and UHA was awarded in November, December last year, and we've been working with them to transition most of the work, including the lab transportation system for samples for viral load and others. We already, that one we handed it over, I think, in last month. PEPFAR, TASO, and LSDA, we gave them work with them to make sure they do the right thing. They are doing it very right, I'm very sure. But we are still working with them for the next 5 years to ensure that we jointly deliver the services for HIV. Mbarara Hospital, I talked about it. They have money from the US government, and they are mandated not only to support their own clinic, but also support some of our center force. Our district hospitals and the DHO's office and the HQ center force. UNICEF, I think UNICEF is doing some work in ICCM in KIRUHURA, right? Are they doing some work for ICCM? But where they are working like in Sinjiro, in the refugees, and in Tungamo, they are doing some work on the community. We'll be working with them. Some World Bank funded programs. With Mayanja. So next. So somebody just say that we know who is where. We talked about the rights. This one's transitioned work to TASO and LSDA. They've been supporting labs. We gave them lab service support starting August of this year, which is last month. And then, like I said, we are closing in September. And then we have TASO and LSDA. Their work is HIV, but also we know that Barroso has money for HIV, and we've given them work for lab support. And then OVC partners, we know the orphans and vulnerable children. OVC partner, I think of code, is getting money from TPO, and their job has been to link the HIV positive orphans and vulnerable children care treatment services, and us, the clinical partners, ensuring that these OVCs, they get services and then have very good treatment outcomes for HIV. Next slide. And then, like I talked about UNICEF, CPOs, there are quite a number of projects funded by WHO, which might be closing in some districts. And these ones may not necessarily be across all the districts, but should they expand to a district like KIRUHURA, we'll be working with them. Then I talked about other activities at the national level. These ones may not be very familiar, and there are many abbreviations. Apologies for that. But these are also critical because they form part of the technical working groups, steering groups, and the ministry in ensuring that guidelines and policies are formulated then for us and TASO and Mayanja to implement at facility and community level. And then, most importantly, other partners that were not listed here that are critical for us to harmonize work plan with the DHO and his team so that we can minimize the duplication of services. Next. So as I come to the end, we want to make sure that activities being done in KIRUHURA are not necessarily the same being done in Kabale, because we know the context is different. So we don't expect that strategies and activities are going to be uniform. We want to make sure that our approaches are culturally sensitive. What works in Karamoja and Busoga may not work in Akole and KIRUHURA. And I think we always come to the DHO and his team to do a work plan. We want to work with NGOs and FBOs. I think there was a request for proposals, I think like last month, for CBOs who can do some work in the community. Of course, finally, when we give them work, we want to work with the DHO and find out where is Mayanja working, which other community organizations do you have, so that also when we give them work, they are not working in the same areas where other partners are working. And these are the sub-grantees I'm talking about. So as and when I think they do the selection, there will be a formal communication on who is going to be working where and what kind of work they are going to be doing. So I talked about health systems interventions. We want to build our own systems, really building on what Rights Association achieved and what the other partners are doing. The issue of hub and spoke. There is a guideline from the ministry, and I'm not sure, maybe Dr. Kamya knows better than me. The hub and spoke where the referral hospital is supposed to work with the DHO's office to be able to provide clinical mentorship and support for hospitals, and where possible get midwives, get medical officers attached, for example, to Mbarara Referral Hospital for like maybe a week or a few months to be able to improve their clinical skills, and then thereafter they are able to go back. So the referral hospital is expected to look at data for the whole region and say, for example, find out where do most mothers who die come from, which facility, which district, and then they use that one to talk to the DHO of a specific region to kind of provide ongoing mentorship and support to ensure that the healthcare workers are able to improve their skills and improve service delivery at a specific district hospital. And then with understanding that now the hospital is supposed also now support Center 4s and 3s to do the same work that the hospital has done for the hospital and the DHO's office. So that kind of layering is what UHA, together with the referral hospital Mbarara, is expected to do. Leadership and governance, I talked about it. And then local actors in ensuring that they are training and empowering and making sure that the hub and spoke model is functionalized, because it should be about what you want from the referral hospital and not what they think you need. Lastly, this is what UHA will not do. So I think when we go into discussions, we don't ask about this. We are not going to be doing lab capacity support and strengthening. Like I said, that one has moved to TASO and Mbarara Hospital. We are not going to be doing any activities in the schools. We will not be providing sub-grantees. I think those who have worked with us at Rights and Star Southwest who are doing it, and will continue the same mechanism. And then we will not be procuring the drugs or other commodities. That is the work of NMS and JMS, because government funds that, and other donors provide some funding for commodities. We are not going to be doing HIV work at facility level, so you won't find UHA doing work on HIV, because that's the work of TASO and LSDA. And also, lastly, we are not going to be doing community water sanitation and hygiene. We are going to be doing facility water sanitation and hygiene, because we know the reasons why most of the children die is because of poor water sanitation and hygiene. So a bit of ensuring our labor sinks are clean. If there's no water, running water, we can work on that to be able to make it a clinic which is very clean, that is so much admirable for people to come into it and receive services. So ladies and gentlemen, that was my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Webale munonga omwaneri yabu. Mwamweteri yabu na atumanya and is a M and E director wa Uganda Youth Activity. Kati mtu atukumu kanisa abantu bali ekikana kyakwa tere kitenderezo. Wakuja muhapiti mu joint review mission bajya ku kitenderezo tushobora wahabwe na kucheka ngati twakeshaga magabishe mwe abo kukuyabuga mu rujungu byona niba ngo bakubikora wana babukoreye abantu bakuza kubake yes nyanya nyamu batero mu ngaro abo kwa bizira ibintu bendera one way byana ine batarakora ukabona bari barakora babukora issues concerning leadership and governance lab teams nyamu KIRUHURA nijya kubiza kwa modo kandi ikindi cyo mutano na UHA ibintu mushuwitu obatwire bakamuhumurmo nanisha bangu Madam Vivian oyimuke abantu bana bakorera. She was working with us and she crossed to UHA. Yes, Kemisha Vivian. And Vivian nomukazi, I can describe her in 2 words. She's a very versatile and impeccable woman. That's why we have hopes in UHA, because we know her capacity, and she has been supporting us. She left, but she has been supporting us online. So that's why we have hopes. I don't want to take steroids or change up. I want to live on so no rowing a man. So I and we hope for the best. I have just been informed Kuchirangu Watunga, a representative from Uganda Protestant Medical Bureau, and that is none other than Dr. Patrick Musinguzi. Where you can stand up for recognition. When you look at that banner behind, you are seeing that here, Mumsharawa, our Nava Protestant, Nava Poro. They have supported this function. That's why we are here. Yes, thank you very much for presenting UPMB. We are going to have a next presenter, an IP who is already. Yes, Tasso is already. So Tasso, you are welcome. And we have made. Don't get worried. Doing a madatina. In every day, 2 years, when I'm about 2 years, speeches. So from that presentation to the discussions and go forward. Then to the speeches, to the end of dreams of all colors. I cannot specify what the could be. I can never but the dreams of all colors, and people we need to enjoy after this session. That's all. Yes. Hati na Uganda Protestant Medical Bureau were represented. Bukana yenda kureba abakristo abaya durumu arumu kristo mukuru bakara umweta Maria Teresa numanya Maria Teresa akashara mukubo mu sister myaka 8 okore cyafaye umwaka gwa 1952 nyamuze kuno bayasiko wenka ukutiga kwikirize abasikara ababo bakabatakashwirwe. He was launching a charity organization in India. He never got to put it here. Can nabebembezi bemiringo yona current political leaders, technical and visitors. So Maria Teresa bakage mukazoma gezi munonga akagambira abantu abebembezi ngo bafate amagara gabantu abaru kwebembera. Wakorerwa bya Maria Teresa is hope, and hope is everything. 1952, you can imagine, that is Maria Teresa in India. So Mareva Munitwe, Abasenderia, in Yamagara, and that's why you are here. And when I'm Nisham, we have to get the Romunga, because if we never have the heads of what, would it be here? Yes. I'm Dr. Tassis already.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. All protocol observed. My name is George Aluma. I work with the USAID Local Partner Health Services, Ankole, as HIV, TB care and treatment team lead. I'm the manager for HIV and TB. I would like to start on this note by saying that we appreciate this performance review
And I would like to state that our project director, Dr. Koyoyo, and the technical director, they are unable to be in this meeting. Apologies from them. It's just because of what Dr. Kamia mentioned earlier, that we have the donor in the region, and this performance review, which is happening right now in Mbarara, and they're unable to make it because of that. Otherwise, they have sent greetings and appreciations, especially to the district leadership, for the enabling environment that has been provided for TASO to work in collaboration with the district. I have a very short presentation about only 7 slides, and has been made even much easier because of the previous presentations that have been made earlier, including the one from the DHO. I will only outline or remind you of what our mandate is as TASO in Ankole sub-region. So, this is a brief profile of what LPH's Ankole Acholi project is. It will be strange for you to hear the word actually in there, but I'll try to explain so that it makes it much easier. And I'll try to be as simple as possible so that each and every one is able to get the gist of the matter. We all know very well that TASO won this award, which is a 5-year cooperative agreement from PEPFAR through USAID to implement this project in Ankole sub-region from October 2020 to September 2020. 25 actually, not 3 as it stated there. Sorry for that error. And because of the good work that TASO Ankole did, that same cooperative agreement was extended for us to provide similar services in Acholi sub-region. That's why the name of the project changed from being LPHS Ankole alone to include LPHS Ankole Acholi project in this entire implementation. That's why it is called like that. So we are in 2 regions, implementing in Ankole, at the same time also implementing in Acholi. Our project strategy is aimed at improving the district-based integrated package of quality HIV, TB services. As Eliab stated earlier on, we are zeroed on only that area of HIV and TB. Prevention, care services. The geographical scope, we're in all the 12 districts of Ankole, including Mbarara City, and we have extended to 9 districts in Acholi sub-region, including also the city of Gulu. The scope of our project covers supporting integrated health systems approach for public health facilities. Clearly stated earlier on, we shall not go to PNFPs or PFPs. We are only in public health facilities, meaning that facilities which are supported by the government of Uganda. Our goal is to support public health sector aimed at increasing or improving availability, access, which Dr. Kamia talked about. We continuously ensure that people are able to access services, including ART services. So in that regard, in the last 1 year, we were able to accredit 4 public health facilities in KIRUHURA to provide ART services. And as well as utilization, the services can be there, but are the people able to utilize them? That is what our mandate is. And I'm so glad, the DHO, for this forum, because we are as a team and as a group, and we all have a mandate in ensuring that these services are actually utilized at the lower level for the benefit of all the people who are living in the district. And we're also working with the DHO's office to contribute towards the achievement or attainment of the 95, 95, 95 UN/AIDS targets. And we need to achieve this actually by the year 2030, as stated earlier on by the RDC he asked very pertinent questions, which should all stick into our minds of what are we doing to improve those questions which he earlier on asked, including HIV. He clearly stated HIV, which is preventable. We're even paying money to acquire it. Can we do something differently in order to ensure that we stop the cycle of transmissions, but also ensure that we take care of those who are positive with us? So we are aiming at one particular goal, that is HIV epidemic control by 2030. By control, we are saying, when we reach 2030, can we be in position to ensure that the new cases of HIV infections are much less than the mortalities occurring among people who are living with HIV? Meaning that the whole basket where the PLHIV are is eventually reducing, because we are not adding more positives into that basket. So that eventually, as time goes, there will come a year when we start seeing no new infections happening, and eventually, which I don't know when it will happen, but we'll be able to see no one living with HIV, and that's what we're aiming at. The approach we're using to achieve this goal is through supporting and strengthening the health systems of the government of Uganda. Dr. Kamia mentioned about the health system building blocks, which included HRH, leadership, governance, service delivery, ensuring medicines are available, the modern technologies are being used to provide these services, our record systems. He emphasized on it. You use data in order to plan and see how the available resources can be used for the betterment of the health of our population, and as well as enhancing and ensuring that's the health financing. So we're not working on our own as isolated TASO. We work with the district local government to ensure that we strengthen the health system. At the end, these are the domains that we are aiming to see, the key result areas as a project. We want to ensure that there's provision of high quality, high yielding, targeted HIV testing services. Currently, we are using those terms: ICT, that is index client testing, APN, SNS, to optimize the attainment of the first 95. The first 95 is aimed at ensuring that 95% of people who are living with HIV in our communities are actually identified. We get to know who they are, so that we can use the second 95 to ensure that they are all on treatment. So in that regard, those interventions you can see, including ICT. Who is this primary person who has come to our HIV care? And we look around this person to see how we can identify more HIV positive so that we can attain that. The partners, if there's one partner who is HIV positive, can we look for the sexual partners of this individual working with him so that we can bring them also on board and rule out that they are not infected with HIV. SNS is the social network strategy. Simply explained, like anyone in this room of my age, we go through certain common phenomena, wherever I may be. Could it be that if you find me, in particular, HIV positive, you can as well work with the age groups of my type in order to identify more HIV positives, because we are basically having the same characters, the same notion where they say birds of the same feather flock together, isn't it so? So if you work through me, you will be able to identify more of the HIV positives who may be out there in the community that can access treatment. We aim at ensuring this prompt ART and TB treatment initiation for all those who are newly diagnosed. And we ensure that we optimize their treatment to ensure that we get our goals of second 95. Second 95 is all about those who are positive. Can we put them on treatment? With the new treatment policy of test and treat, meaning that we identify you today, we support you today to start antiretroviral therapy, which is aimed at now achieving the third 95. which turned 95, is all about ensuring this viral load suppression. Meaning that if you are virally suppressed, then you cannot transmit the HIV to another new person who is not yet infected. Meaning that you are breaking the cycle of the transmissions. And through that, we can now be in position to attain the goals that we want to achieve by 2030 of ensuring that this HIV epidemic control, because there will be no new infections. Attaining the optimal viral load suppression rates for all clients. As a district, we are already doing well in that area, but we can sustain it and even move higher above the 95% performance. Another result area we want to see is institutional capacity building of health systems in order to sustain the HIV and TB epidemic control and maintain the response. Meaning that all those that we have done, can we be able to sustain it? Can the district be eventually in position to respond to all these challenges that we are facing? In prevention, this is what we are doing. The high-yielding targeted HIV testing, including APN, as I mentioned to you earlier on, which has a very high yield, meaning that if you test people based on their exposure to HIV, the positivity you are going to get is going to be higher. And this helps us in the sense that we are able to use the few resources to identify exactly those who need to be identified, other than doing a mass testing whereby you cannot get even any positive, meaning that you will have wasted the resources. So we are using those approaches like APN to reach the sexual contacts of this individual who is already sick, and more so that one who is not virally suppressed or who has not started treatment, so that we can be able to reach them. Same as ICT, index client testing, SLS, and recency. When I talk about recency, this is what we are doing. It means we are now able to identify those who are recently infected with HIV. Less than 1 year. That means he has newly got the HIV. So we want to have that public response, working together with the DHO to find out if this individual is identified in this area, could there be continuous transmissions happening in this area, so that we can target that population and bring them on treatment and achieve community viral load suppression so that new infections don't happen. We are able to do that. Other services that we are providing in the prevention area include services for key and priority populations. We still know there are people who are actually the drivers of HIV in our community. So can we be able to work with them to see to it that this chain of transmission is broken? This includes, of course, the CSWs. Those are the commercial sex workers, young women and adolescent girls, the trackers, and all those groups of persons. We need to work with them so that we stop the transmission. We also look at GBV as gender-based violence in our communities. In our communities, this is a very big factor that is fueling HIV transmissions. Voluntary self-made circumcision. It's a HIV risk reduction intervention which can reduce HIV by up to 60%. We have PrEP. PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis, meaning that those who engage in commercial sex work but they are not yet HIV infected can go on antiretroviral treatment for purpose of prevention so that they don't get HIV in the future. But we also don't leave alone PrEP interventions, meaning that post-exposure prophylaxis, the needle stick injuries and so on, especially for our health workers. And we also promote condom distribution for those age groups that are appropriate. Next. In terms of treatment and support, we are providing ART to new and existing clients. Our target in KIRUHURA is about 6,779. That is a coverage of around 96% of our target, meaning that we have quite a big number of PLHIV. So how do we ensure that we don't increase these numbers in our community? Through prevention interventions and through treatment. Because if you are treated, you will not be able to transmit the HIV. The EID birth cohort monitoring, that is for HIV exposed infants born to HIV positive mothers from 0 to 18 months, so that we eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV. We are doing a routine viral load, earlier on mentioned, monitoring for all our clients, and as well as monitoring their suppression rate. So as a district, we are performing at that, slightly less than the 95%, but surely together we shall be able to be there. We are doing cervical cancer screening for all women who are living with HIV. Because of reduced immunity, they have more chances of developing cervical cancer compared to someone who is not HIV infected. So we are screening all the women from the ages of 24 to 49 and providing those services. There's the aspect of the advanced HIV disease screening for those who are newly starting treatment, those who are falling off from treatment, in order to ensure that we rule out advanced HIV diseases. There is the aspect of NCD. This is the non-communicable diseases. All of us here, after the age of 40, you are susceptible to develop hypertension, diabetes, mental issues, and so on. So in that regard, even the HIV positive are subject to NCDs, and we identify and treat them. Screening for HIV drug resistance. Because someone fails to adhere to his ART, there's a possibility that the virus can develop resistance to the drug. And it makes it very difficult to treat such kind of persons. And in case that person transmits the virus, it will be the resistant strain of the virus transmitted, which is difficult to manage. So that is an area that we support. In TB, we support case detection, currently at 81% via active case finding, improving TB treatment success rates up to 95%, and also mitigating the emergency of multi-drug resistant TB. We had a case outside our district. It was in Kazo, which needed Ministry of Health response and emergency management when we found actually many cases. Hopefully, it has not spilled over to our district. We are also improving the cure rate. Those who had positive results, at the end of the day, we ensure that they are cured. This is also mitigating transmissions and also the emergencies of the MDRT. TB prevention among PLHIV. We are preventing TB using the interventions available, using INH and the 3HP commodities available. Supported activities in the district. One is capacity building of health workers in form of trainings, coaching, and mentorship to all the building blocks of the health system. We are supporting logistics and supply chain. Dr. Kami explained, some deliveries came late, some deliveries were not done in some of the health facilities, so we embark on ensuring that we do redistributions for continuity of services. We're also supporting individual client service provision of outcome monitoring using data that is generated from the audit tools to inform data-driven decisions. As I mentioned earlier on, I like Dr. Kamia because he wants to see and be guided by data on what interventions we can do in order to improve. And that will be explaining why KIRUHURA has consistently improved. But the question to all of us is, how do we sustain that improvement up to date? Key lessons we are learning. Adequate leadership from the district. As I said earlier on, implementation is through the district, so we need to work together. This has, the DHO especially has been our mentor in the domain of the district-led programming and implementation. We have also the real-time and routine use of data generated from the audits and in quality improvement processes, which he presented. We appreciate the DHT team that uses data for routine monitoring, planning, and programming, and that has improved most indicators in the district and providing timely data for service gaps. For action planning, that can be instituted and followed up in our district. We also have the committed and dedicated team, which earlier on you have mentioned, the DHT, that we are working with. They are able to support all those different critical areas or program areas in HIV, TB prevention, care and treatment. Thank you so much. This is what TASO does, and together with you we shall continue doing it, and we will remain in those positions and even improve further as the first district in the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. George Aruma, Care and Treatment Manager at TASO. Yes. Thank you very much. If you don't have a way of reading, I come to ask about what you sure. When we are going to Kunka, I know he's following us. He's following the discussion.
I was briefing you.
Okay, fine. Thank you. I'm adapting that traffic. Now,
we don't sleep earlier.
yes. Chairman, I see 5. What is there? And have a address from Mukorogu, about the government says anymore. Government Yakubaza, Leomani, Kamungu. Government Yakabiri, Nea, Wechtinisa, Refran, Samuel, Shakatugun. Bakana government says so. Can't take a tattoo to Mukorogu. You might have been here. In fact, I don't know who invited them, but they are here with us. For some time, they are here with us. Are you starting for condition? Those are who worked in previous government. Yes. Now where that person has wisdom, and in our Shuribitabo, another guy, we don't have the Jumkuru, Robin Shama, and the Kyoto Kinji. I can't get our photo watches in Barakush Hochi, at the Church of Chukiti. After which I had a team, the Church that you want to show, but the comes the Jumkuru. Speech. Now you read the speech that will be given for your Bible ceremony. I think I should have a Garagakitu. Was something up to show Bashanaka and Kamuze, our judge of what I can read it. Our question that that's good as Muslim. Wonka Karimu and Jumkuru Kanimania, Ogomunta, you must have read those books. Invite those people who worked and contributed something to be appreciated or to attend. Because attending is also very important, such a function. So we thank them for honoring our invitation. I have a good Shashurwa, a Jokubanza, a room the Anagel Sumurso, a Hera, a Isha, when I travel here, evidence of the Kia. Trangocha Kamili, Nature Miss, and I just got Deba, but I'm not going to miss. What I want to show over Nagao. I this they are paid for all this water, so don't fear take that water. Yes. Let's go back to agenda. Agenda has been amended to come to can we choose it? But someone has implemented it. Has talked something with me here. Part of this agenda. So we are going to chance to take a table. So without wasting time, and I need my colleague Joel, are you ready? There are some discussions. I think I'm looking forward. And discussion here guided by presentations. IPZ na technical people like Dr. Kami and Munyaneza. I want to be ready with your pens and pencils and notebooks. But I'm going to put this at medical bureau in the presentation. There is no presentation, that's why I'm surprised. Someone told me you don't have a presentation, but it's fine. I hope you summarize it. Kukana ningaidinga a discussion and way forward. Wajirangu, ebuzo reserve presentations. And if you are moving to Sabaku, the Agamba, this is just a Agamba. Continue Dano, the Abusa. What is Sabaku? They are Ayabus at your origin, in our Vajata, over and we may not finish everything in time. We have DHT members who can note your concerns or your challenges or issues. And that's our DHT members because that's our part. Discussions that go forward. Can you stand up, DHT members? Whatever. These ones, except the answer injury, Ninga any issue about them be still because this is our part. In fact, all of us let's start noting these issues as
discuss so that we manage time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MC. Protocols observed. I'm called Dr. Patrick Msinguzi. I work as care and treatment specialist with LSTA, UPMB. My presentation is going to be very brief. I think you have to bear with me. We've been hearing LSTA, but in full it is local service delivery for HIV and AIDS activity. It is a 5-year usage-managed project agreement that began in the year 2020, and it will be ending the year 2025. But that one we need not to worry much. Depending on our performance, it could be, and we are sure it will be extended. The brain partner is UPMB. LSD is under UPMB, and UPMB has several projects. One of them is LSDA. Under LSDA, we partnered with the IDI that supports our lab services. Then we have Baila, which supports the ped and adolescent docket of care and treatment. Then we also have MAPI, which supports us to provide services to the KP. The technical areas, okay, we offer a comprehensive HIV service program, and we also have a docket of community support. Mainly we support PNFDs. These are facilities that are private, not for profit. And as per now, we have 189 facilities we support. And this is all over the country, and specifically in Southwest, East, and the North. We have 35 facilities which we sub-grant. These ones, they give us a budget through negotiations. We agree and give them money to run the HIV, to support the HIV services, and that money is managed at the facilities. And in KIRUHURA, the one we have is Bushenge Community Hospital. Then we also have 26 civil society organizations we work with, and that is across 57 districts in the country. Yeah, location, I've already talked about it, and the goal is to support the achievement of the government of Uganda and PEPFAR of reaching and maintaining HIV epidemic control and ending AIDS by the year 2030. So our scope of work is not very much different from TASO, so I will not go much into that in the interest of time. And I would like to recognize the good working relationship that has been there between LSDA and the District of KIRUHURA under the good leadership of Dr. Kanya. So I would like to end there, but before I come to the end, I would like to apologize for my bosses who have not managed to come here. That's the top leadership because of the USAID visit team we have, and we've been divided. Some are in Ankole and others went to Kigezi, because those are the areas we cover in the southwest, and we also needed representations there. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Grand Protestant, Dr. Giro, for that brief presentation. Mshamotere ngarisha yazi kwata. What is it, Mr. Farouk? Farouk, where are you? Tuenda kwanjura ni ngumu tumkwali umwanyo. Faruku no muntu mukuru na owning a TV wenko muntu is the CEO of Fatways TV. Kan chochonka wewe kala represent of that very TV. Kan chochonka is a news reporter of that very TV which you owns, you can imagine. So young Mutere Romunga, that is Mr. Farouk of Fatways TV. Kandi ogumukoro guri live on YouTube. Kaya mtaza koma nao na jakureba mugwahika n'abakuru abicukwataho umuyihanga ereri. All relevant stakeholders and all of us are relevant stakeholders in this joint review mission. So thank you very much Faruku bakuterenga rezindi kugira ngo buri kintu cyawe no ukikora iwe nkiwi. Yes. Echo naja kuchikoraho abusho kazazi muna zimwe na ida support yitu. Yes. Because I know he's not sleeping. I know Faruku very well, he's not sleeping on the job. Let's go back to the agenda. Na nabashoriraho okutora akora kintechi Joel yemeraho wagati tuko twakira guzo rutano ntuzahamura mwa na bakwa rishonge zindi VDM enguto imyoga hatebyo n'ibirindi izoba tuzahamura mwa kugira ngo bitija kandi bajya gutwagira twabakereza gozo ya to manage time, we get lunch and we enjoy our social hours. Thank you very much. We shall first to receive 5 questions. Ebuza rutano kurwo murimu. Numbuza presenters na ngana bakuru mu district kati leaders. Ekwate ne byamagara gitu. Yes. Emukone etano chairman kacha Fred honorable chamazima arumu charondishaho. Yes, twatandika na honorable senior citizen.
Mukama witasi. Bwana mterera hambo mungara wiki cyakoze. Ati mwe abantu bacu. You are blessed to have Mukabo Teteria as the chairperson to Kira district. And Teteria, you know, and Yenga mine is not a question. Ninyenda kugambira abantu ba KIRUHURA that leaders are born, they are not made. You get it from me. Teteria is a young, energetic guy, but he has performed to my expectation. Clap for him again. Come here. Ninyenda kusima mnonga. Ate njagala nnyo okusima nnyo. Kubanga my dreams have come to reality. Hata omukweba nyocha mazime nimanya KIRUHURA eti nkuko okolibenga yange. Kamya akaijong regime ya Kamugungu when I was the Minister for Social Services. Karambara, we made a familiarization tour throughout the district. But I'm happy, Mr. Kamya, to have you as our DHO in KIRUHURA, the first district of Uganda. In Sima mnonga. Yabari kuno mulimo gwawe, yabari kuba administrator, yabari fitezo rutamba ba KIRUHURA. Mbweni mwe bantu nyene bintu byanje bishatu ebikwenda kwa blessing wa Kamya. Kamya otwabire ntwetorora Kanyaryeru hariyo mwanya nibagweta Jovan Sanarkanka Rwamaranda. Omwanya ogwo gwa Rwamaranda, it is one of the hard to reach areas. Omuteekateko byana ba KIRUHURA umwanya gwa Rwamara, I mean, Rwamaranda, Mr. Chairman, murebe ubuhereza bw'abantu ba Rwamaranda. Uwo mcharo wa Kashonji, yemeriwa yokadi, yemeri. Because nituiza kusima abantu, kugira ngo twabasima, they are motivated to work. We want leaders who can perform, who can transform their districts or their sub-counties. And I want to thank you that in KIRUHURA there are no longer outbreaks of measles of any kind. Because in health, get it from me, immunization is a priority in health. Clap for the VHTs. VHTs. Even I had addressed it to the president, but there are many. But in your respective sub-counties, at least you can motivate the coordinators, you can motivate those VHTs who are competent, not any VHT, but we want to motivate the VHTs who are very competent and who can perform to our expectation. Social services, there was one challenge whereby the national medical stores would just sell drugs anyhow without using the in-charges to make their requisitions. So is that still the system? And you people should clap for me, because one time, what I know, Mr. Kachin was there, I think, among the leaders. I moved the motion to the president that the drugs should move or be transported from the national medical stores, the respective health units, and it's working countrywide. So I think now there is no longer of banning the drugs, expired drugs, in Nakasongora, where I don't still recall very well. Ekindi ni yanakusima Dr. Zirabamzare. He was our pioneer DHO. Dr. Zirabamzare, stand up for recognition. Thank you so much. Mwenu, ekindi, chingwe na kugambara, you young energetic leaders. You are in offices to serve. You need to have a sense of responsibility, a sense of commitment, a sense of monitoring, so that when you are in that position, even if you leave that position, people will know that at least you served them people. You represent. I wonder some district councillors who go there in the council and sit the whole day, and they go back without even uttering a single sentence. And you think you are representing the people who gave you the votes? Those backbenchers. The backbenchers, always sitting behind, at times even they begin dozing. Me, I don't sit behind. Even when I enter, people know I can't sit behind. Why behind? Being a backbencher. And you think you will be rewarded? No way. You need to work very hard. Even if I die today, that motion that I moved helped the country, because now the drugs are being transported from the national medical stores, their respective health units. And people get the drugs at the right time, having qualified personnel. Mr. Kamia, I think in KIRUHURA or in Kazo or anywhere you can advocate, because I know they were the chairman of the whole doctors of Uganda. At least let us have a training institution for health workers so that we fill those gaps. You have been telling us the 80%. We want 100, and the population is increasing. Thank you so much, Mr. Kami. I want to recognize my friend, Dr. Mayanja. Me, I'm a senior counselor from Barara district. I want to thank you, Mr. Mayanja. God will reward you for what you are doing. So, with those few remarks, I want to thank Mr. Munyamesi. You have made a very good representation. The presentation has been so good. Nikusima, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, stand up again. Young, come. Face that way. Clap for him. Because he has served our expectation. KIRUHURA third in Uganda. The second in Uganda. It was great. And it will remain in the records of Uganda. So thank you so much for turning up. Thank you, Mr. Kache, for being there for Chinoni. Mwebale mnoga bantu abeisha. Abataka ye bakacha mazima frame ni yeji. Mche. Ni masima mokunja. Ni kusima leo kadia kwa mkazi. Okajeremu akora ni toka 360s. Nyenda kusimama kazi. Abebembire seji. Bakajiriki bakora. Twena balidazi abakunama. Because kugamba abantu bagiriki bayihamu. Wagamba hagiriki akorwa. Koka kusawi walida iya for many years. Nitwena abantu David ngaji. Nipendera mutebere naye mu ngaro niyo yihireyo kazi. Enaye bakihayo mukazi bachamazima bakaba takusaho kubaho umusomo kokabla enare mukwiya abakazi kandi atabatuniye na kumuhiguri hange. With those few words, I thank you very much for listening.
Very few words, clap for her. Abana baragamenye abantu bijumisho twine live coverage na abafaro so barakora ko mugambe bikemana twakendezaho abantu munana bo then turekera
amazina ganjye rwanyeta Kake Tumusime Fred Chairman w'Egomborera Kinoni. Ekibuzo cyane cyo kubanza naningira ngo kumkweta politicians yitutwine kureka chairman wenka wa district konka bamwe nibatoranwa notine level ya education yona ekikumanyisa ko kubana obeta wayeta chairperson LC3 ayisha no wa P1 ayisha no wa P7 agirata nkimanyisa ngo representation zanyu abamwe haraho batakugira abatakuzuhurira so nani aho ningira ngo necyarenge mpango kugira ngo haraho oshemiye kubana narabyamu okwindura abantu baketegereza icyo kubana mu presentinga icyo ne kibuzo cyo kubanza ecya kabiri ningira ngo ni numunyaneza presentation ye yatoreka hamagomborera make aga kurigirira hankora yago ninge bayembetenga kuyakireyo kunkaga mwe twamanya okagashikamu ninge toragashikirimo abo kuba nareba KIRUHURA Town Council nareba akayanja bita hande aganda mingi tinamanya agoko gashikamu wamanya ubwayemerere ekyakashatu mwana mugira ngo population ya Kinoni ahabwa maternity ekacendezebwa habwo kombeka Rweta Muheresi Center siri egereho yiba kombeka konkana nyenda ngo manyise district population ya Kinoni ne growing kandi to neighbor ba district ibiri Lyantonde na Sembaburi ahabo kuba ito hati waza kureba average y'abantu kuzara space ter hoto mbwe nimba manyisa ngo Rwetamu teine kwecendereze aha population ya Kinoni ahabo maternity ward ekyo nanimba shabangu mukimanye population ya kiyongerera kimwe ekyakashatu neke na haho wa no presenting transport yana ningira ngo ni review ya hoire bakagamba ha transport negeshaha transport nekizubu cyamani munonga omu health center series omu outreaches nekizubu mbwene nka center ya Kinoni health center series twine kapikoni atoro kandi ni tinkumanya bayemba geographically ekibayemba manyisa nka Kiruhura district nkujimanya mbwene omuntu kurugaha kaza cyanga omunsharo na sere town council akapikina akapanyise ntwaye eshatu okugaruka kwako n'ikintu cyekizu munonga mbwene haningira ngo health center tuzi omubitekateko omu ministry naningira ngo hariho representative wa ministry kugira ngo health center tu eshemeye kutekatekwaho omu area yitu ya district ya Kiruhura mbwene nkanye kuruga Kinoni kwikana yiba kweta macuncu niyo nama hariho kilometers ezikwingana 10 mbwene aho ntenda health center tu kubera nambwenu ninsima no sankore ekataho akarwaro no sankore diocese kaita nturege nicyo cyumu mbwene health center tuzinzetengwa omyanya yito muri Kiruhura district no government etakuzireba ngo ni kikuru konka ni kikuru health center tuzo myanya yitu ahabwa distance ekyo nakyo nani nyenda tukimanye kandi tukite mu nkora kucyanke basika ekindi nani ni shemerwa ahabwa reporter ya kami twantwenda nka district age twena leaders abariyaha n'abakozi omumazima tariho kiyanabi ashitwabere turi na chairman uriyaha negeshaha okuturi umukozi rumuri mu muhango ibyo ninguri challenges zikiriho nyingi konka hariko umurimo muhango aha abakozi abaye tuine almost 10% hati turiyo 80% abo nubwo mazima ntwenda ngo tugamba amazima garugo no butwaturu politicians ekyo service delivery naye ebere hata trisi ne yongera erigera ha percentage yansi haturi ha percentage nungi kureka haramu challenges z'abakozi noza abakozi aharota oshanga Kinoni n'abakozi 10 konka service oshanga ho bashatu kandi ecyo mukimanye omwe yo muri ivu omwe abyumsa omukushoma konka bari nibabarua ha center oso kushanga in charge ari ha taxi ahamana mengi ogwa yo muri ivu ogwa yo mu maternity ogumanya nkahi ozo kushanga center aha bantu 10 hariho bashatu nangwa obundo shangaho babiri mbwene je nari challenge mpango etishemeye ku improving endisho kwereka yina nienda ngumbagambire hati challenge yituine nimbasa kuba ninyengi nyenye supervision ya private clinic C ya drug shop webe yaba habo kuba nkatimu ya yegombora ekekwata one time omyaka yenyuma nk'ebiri yayenda ngwe inspecting drug shops ezo konka hariho bakufaye eyimikira ha district kutitaine bushoborozi bw'okuza omu kintu ekyo mbwena nyenda kubuuza district abantu abo kabatwitiire abantu ezi drug shops ezitukweta drug shops kandi clinics kaziine ebitanda ziforowinga hano okusupervisinga drug shops ezo no incharge wazabo habwokuba ahansi aho abaana bamugire abantu ito twine cases z'abantu nka bashatu abamugire abaine hati enkoni omwe nikapanka aryawanyene bakamutera ekikatu ogwo negishaha bahata aine ekyoma omu kuguru ashoize miliyoni zitari hansi ya 30 kuza kumutamu ekyoma tuyine omwana nahatari omwana w'emyaka nka 6 habwokuba tutwakiine kesi za poli konka tuyine omwana abaana babiri b'ebimuga ahabwa drug shops ezo kandi hariho follow up mbwena nimbashaba abakuba bari focal person ha kintu ekyo improving our supervision nebyo mwe bari munonga district okutwetaha nito tukahayo ebizibu byeki ekyo kwerekana nakyo munsase ekyo kwerekana nakyo health center siri zona ningira ezange mbwenu konka neza handi oburaro bw'abakozi butuberera ikizuba oburaro bw'abakozi nekintu challenge mpango omu district omu nambwenu abegomborera batakukwatanisa na health centers ezo harimu ekizibu nambwenu hata wange bagiye kumpereza mutaire omunju ya ahagomborera honka namurondera mukarumu twamutamu omuzazi kandi tube tugiteeraho nka office z'abakozi konka twamwihayo twamutaho ngo ataza kubona bona mwe bari munonga
wewe munonga Mr. Kachafu Edwards Musibe hatoka naomba political leaders abataha is one of the senior political leaders in this district kandi yana agamba nshobora nazichenga namwe mke muongere ngaro kandi shongezi ya raising hati tabaranga binji yabugamo hati tabugarukamo turahamaho ihere sentatus abakozi butakora drug shop na kintu cyose bikatu ebyono tuje kubugarukamo mukama wanje yangira mu gihe abandi abantu 8 mukaga denne bale bataburuzi abaye bataburuzi ninga bataratunge chance yo kubuza bije bagamera DHT members. That's why this desk is there nabandi DHT members basitamanga hariya tuje kutunga ibintu kandi tubugarukamo. That's why we are here to improve services ebyo numuze n'ibyo twenda kandi cyatu leta n'ubundi agenda ja kuja kugamba ninga kubuza na jo mwanya ogu netwa kanheri kugira ngo ikibuzo ki kimunyi Uganda yona gira abana biki yambaga kwa batari mu gishiteki baba
ngara akunda ndimurabe de Grace vice chairperson abasanga sub county nasima abagamba mwini niyongera sima wa mukago na timu yao abo twemeshe hirwaro ndabona abo kakahundi iwabo yitu neragura abantu basanga sabukawuti ragura abantu nabo kimwe cya kabiri abasanga atamukanso ngimanza ngo ragura abantu bingi kandi nizasaba kazi bingi nabwo ecyo nayemera kusaba sikwataho umuntu wongera muzasondizo twino muzasomwe nagora munonga arahamulonga icyakabiri abashaka bitu batere ngendo ndingwa babantu baza kugema abantu umugeke nanimba shaba mbase kuturore intambura ebintu byo byakorwaho ebyo muzasa cyakorwaho ekyentambura cyakorwaho ntubasira mukatuhereza abasaho abari munonga nubafayo munonga ebintu byo mwanza kutukoreraho ekintu kiba kyaterera mubali munonga
twena tama brief ku mcharogwe analikasanga sub county tukakwata bwire. Yes, chairperson LC3 Keshunga. Yes, DHT members and Jonathan Amatu is our minute secretary. But all DHT members are not in those questions, including myself. Chairperson LC3 network area, you are coming next, sir. Yes, in fact, you are the third. Je vous stamiaha to the town clerk, then you are the third. It's okay, Chairman.
Yabari munonga nanye nyenda kutwara umusho kubasima kandi nyine buzo bike buzo nka bibiri byonke cyo kubanza n'ekwaterine na abashabo betwa babagambira bakugenda distance ndengwa nkabiri nisha DHO na timu yanyu abantu babo kongerwa allowances aho kubana bagenda ingendo mpango kandi bategeka sente itwe kamagombora twine sente zo kushashura abantu babo umuntu gumerwa ngo tukabere ntishaba ngumbongera ahasente ekyakabiri n'ekya health itwe ndageshunga turi ahagati ya town council ibiri KIRUHURA hamwe na shire abantu abengi abakoraguza ahibwaro yababyemano n'abaza town council zo zombi ito bakeshunga operation y'empango eri omurka gwa gongi ogwinesezi 14 abantu abo tubine guhereza kandi ahibwaro aho tubakika mwete kabiri ntishaba twakutunga health center endijo kapitali wanjye kake okuyana agamba ezenzemberakazigarakaho abantu baretera kutunga obuhereza ekyahambye nkabere nishaba omwana kanya mwana wanje kandi nyenda kusima munonga abo kufayo mutikendereza harigendo KIRUHURA twine hotels twine buri kimwe tukureba aho ingitero urugendo tugaruka mu district kandi umukoro ubuye kwa KIRUHURA district ukeja yantonde kandi KIRUHURA twine ama hotels garuko y'Imarira tukabere tubashaba next time mutikendereza harigendo mwebare munonga.
Thank you very much, Chairperson LC3 Keshunga, for being brief. Itwara y'abantu bana Chairperson with assistant Deputy Mayor Secretary of Council. You have the floor. Mzee wa kazi. Yes. One page, sir. Yes.
Abazina Tuwareka Finance Kwankui Deputy Mayor Sanga Town Council. Yore tingo la kubuza kuyo ndakusi mwe na mutele president do da government imo na bamukago na bahina bashawo eje bungi bekari konsili na mweni nyawe ntiri go ni yakake ko kandi yo imbere DHO imukaba kwelunga Uwarisi ya DHO imukaba kwelunga aba ekikwasindwa muri burizi nomba nitonga ibasina uguma ibijana batsuru umwa urasanga kwasinga n'abantu abo kuba hariho itwabashaho tubaringa hariho n'utezi kuringa ahubwo kuba to kuzorero ukabona wese abantu ngo urushaho ntuba kuringa hata batanduka bazamutwine mutombi mahagenda yitwe urushaho rero izo witu amenye mutwinga ubwa ntuba kwikizana ubitukora abantu bitose bugirati kubona bo umukada kiza kuzara atangana ka tomuru kwani yakwema tuganire tumutware bari nyoni na watoka ulizo kubali kueleza hiyo batwara batampelea chukui yesima inchaji wiki yelelete bakuselela yokukula twasinda leo tawi kirakale yokata kirakale bakuselela yitwe nitwatanisa akazaite takwata tano mu ofisi tukore mushawazitu tukore kwa mama boyire obo oyishaboyire kwanka yiwe ko oraze mukai bachekeka wabyo ngavumete ko gavumenti niwe tushikire kuma tukwata abantu abo presente twine tuzeitu neza abantu ko abenje mtabantu wente nizwajezao yawe mkado unatwile bakanyeta nazo wao batecheremba nokumanya kata kumanya mwenu nimba simba kuruga yiguru kurikaza yewe muka na gavumenti yao ninyenda twena twatanizaho turagumeru twaterendu omushamu mutwaro rero kufitira abantu aje noni injanga kandi ntamushana tukujya mweshere ntabwo mukako kuno koramu yongaterbi yoti kusereka ntabwo cyo niwera runonga kangare sero kiko yokahangare nkanta karero kiko ngoro kundakare kono myaka ina mara ekiko zero hato mugavumenti ebyo nona na ngaba bahangani yangajanje
Sengo wakazi webare mukiko mutere ndere zinde zamani hata kama mzee ugera tuchechera rizo next time I want to assure you that you will get a gift if he doesn't get today because I will carry about the company they are not briefed you know who is going to get and who is not going to get but in case he misses because he raised it very important matters mzee ya resignation ngakuru kanununji mzee webare ntwara bakosha tu kwa kama mzee yagamba kagambo kanshemeza orubwa n'ikintu kikuru orubwo runo kora muzeyi turwine nshonga yes n'orubwa rurungi kandi umwe naenda kufa umutuma najya tutata na mawe n'iki bintu urubwa urwo kwenda kufa umutuma kuko rwo gukora namaka yo kumushaka jya orubwa ahubwo mushinja mukoreba wouldn't be here aka n'orubwa rwizata rwo gukora so urwana rw'intwera rwo gukora 3 members town clerk kurushera town council nakuraturwa I think Mayor, yes. You come and sit forward. Yes. And can you do Bujiri? Yes.
Yabari mnanga moderator n'abasema mwena organizers abanyaha political leadership and technical team mwebari mnanga Nebi tubiri niza kubyagwese ngo wa Dr. Kama my friend and senior elder 2 years ago mukakwandikira cyerekeye shonga na kushaba health assistant na corona kuba role ya health assistant y'umugongora iri mpango mnonga you can't negate it nagarukana twaganira nagaruka muri veyagira no muri asabaganga kustamo nagarukana ashaba health assistant chairman na Chief Adriani Kamia, Dr. Kamia, our health assistant. Now, when can you perform on that area? Now, we share town council. To give a little Yashua Health Center 3, it is a big hospital, Health Center 3, kind of sensitive by its location. They are very sensitive. When you communicate to Shaba, neyenda clinical officer kandi importance clinical officer mu rwaro keryo is very important when you shawa hata imeramu na TV kwat huko biganga bakwat nitenda clinical officer in fact we are writing so that tulete kumhandiche then we must also compete with those who are competing to be the first. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Town Clerk, Rochelle Town Council. That man, matter to you know, matter was sober and eloquent and proactive. is one of them. Town clerk Dr. Mungaro Armani Joseph. Very proactive man. Yes, senior. Yeah. Ntubara yebuzobi kandi mutahiwa ndishira from Chura Town Council.
Mhinsi Dadi Deputy Mayor Chura Town Council. Hangasimwe Wizoberi DHO ntera kusima ba program y'amagara abo bohereza muri Tom District mukoze munonga kuyaho kibuzo cyanje aba program y'amagara gagayongirwa mu gakombe kwa district ekachamu kureta ibintu byayo ibyo kujya kuzoma rwarago ya leta Chirwa Town Council batsaba horo ya Town Council ori mu situation makagona ntupansa huko kikira mbe nabanishaba ngo umwanya wo district na Chirwa yitwe kuguma ntupansa ko aho kikira kumara umwaka twansaba ngweso ngwejo mu giteka keteho amagwaro garare gatakahwire agakombe ko kutego mu materiyo zezo at least itomutindure umushembeza handi abo kubatindikira munongo mwebwe munongo.
Thank you very much. A representative from Chura Town Council. Arikuzaga manisho n'ubugiri konka twahinduramu bugino wawe banyamo mutaba bayine issue erbani nasa kwandika kwa papara wo wire then kigambo ningazo kigambo guno murundi nambona hingana inaka papara from reo kadia nikachiza azabine mu buzari no manya ukashonye kazara kitura ubuzari benda kurekaho nambona tubashabire konka abana bashaba ngu ebyagamba byona batuge presentations aho barya bagwe bashobora umuko wabo Mr. Kansiti ayenda kuri refaringa ndi byatacenge bana bagamba kace yabugamba ngo bagamba mu rujungu hata bari bakabashomesa abana njibona bakashoma ucurugura I believe so umwana zamina ku interpreting akime bir technical yes then bashamu cha paso na LC series allowances za mosquito jone chibuzo munyegezo cyandiki ngaba twakatunja ka center ako mbwenu ubuchikwata ADHT achigakewe chairman bugiri batakagambere bagamba gombora yawo ati bijye magombora itabantu bitahi mukoza notes from that side unkacha mazima pia gambaru ari rwamuranda na kwatwaho rwamuranda akanyundi manya rwamuranda emyaka munane himbiro kaza rwamuranda kuzarwa amano ko tware shayishatu ndaba tejo kastari akarumushaga n'akaka gwaro so twarurisha yaba unkata kuzarwa amano waleba rwamuranda akamazima yakumanya hati yo wano reba kugakanyagia rumpanga mushanjo junction rwa muri mu town that road is very well maintained. I'm going to see my speaker says mwetu wale na chairperson LC5 all this leadership at least there is something that has been good done in Kanyagiro. The third party I don't know which road we own wanje production nasanga apologies. So we know the top issues concerning politics and the issues of the past, the foreign issues. So thank you very much, Bujiri. You can come and take the floor.
Every moderator, chairman wa district, RDC, abebe mbizimwena hande ngozali. Inyetwa Bujirika Shaka Steven, kananye nukun kweye, chairman wegombora Kanyagiro. Chekubanza, munchirisi, nsime twaturi yabuhereza bw'amagwaro ninga bw'amagara munchirize nsime DHO wetu Dr. Kamya unyeta munaruwero amazima garuko habereho improvement umbuhereza naho wetu ni kusima Dr. kandi umbuhereza uburigeno insima chairman entire district leadership kugira ngo ibintu biriyo nibizomeisha ibyo twayimera kugamba ntubantu kugamba habo kwenda ngo twongere kuterezamu ninyenda kugamba ha kintu cya transfer z'abakozi Dr. Kamya okuma gombora gate ningo muherese center zeitu ntubatu ine yo herese wakazi baitu barungi abituru kumanya all of a sudden tureba babahindura aba intrigues ziri hagati y'abakozi ukibo ryaho umuntu ushobeye abasanga ninga bakinoni ureba bamureta bamunagowa wena nishaba ngo doctor kutwiha abantu baitu barungi ogumutereza abandi barungi abo mbabo barunda aho urabo icyo kancerekeraho icya kabiri Dr. Kamya nyine issue yo nangwa tinkwikirezana n'icyo kugira uruba nyo ni inkerezana n'icyo kufite ibintu mu guteka wotakwenda kubitanga guteka twisha kwikirezana nyine umuha abakozi bawe umuntu kuragaho kazo mu community utakozire meetings zo kusensitizinga abantu aha sanitation ukareta polisi ekazo byaro ukekwata issue za toilet ukabarundana ukabakwata ubusheja n'ubukazi bwa makema cyobo ukaburundana samu yo mwabazi ukabashuruzaho sente ngo nicyo cyabe kifubiro ese kitu nyoti kukikirezanaho nambwenu chairman 5 naka nuwazekera kauri aha nienda kusima uwegombo rumpere igishonga gisangire Kanyaryeru nambwenu umprogramu ze naenda kuza umfield twatanise nawe kuza kusensitizinga abantu ahanshonga ya sanitation aho icyo uwegombo rawanje umsya ni msima munonga icyaba muheru nienda kwebuza by the second to the last nienda kwebuza amashanyarazi ga health centers gashimiye kushashugwa abo kuba sofa health centers iri yanje nibajibanja ibanja rukika miliyoni 20 miliyoni 26 n'imitwara 5 nambwenu ninjangu Dr. Kamya no chumanga hariho machines zezumwe ezabere transferred from the health center habo kubura amashanyarazi bwene icyo nekibuzo nakibarekera nkabebembezi abariye kuri yanjye icyaha muheru Kanyaryeru nka health center ne covering omwanya muhango burumwe abantu abakutunga accidents aha main road na nishaba ngo icyo kintu cyo kureta abakozi ninga abashabu bakababara abantu 10 aha ground hariho abantu 2 na incharge wabo ahabo kuba bamwe baba postinga ombihandiko konka n'abana bakiri kushoma yes n'abana bakiri kushoma kandi icyo nangwa tukiri mu health center zonka no mu local government kirimo yes abo kuba ba parish chiefs ushanga ngo ni ba parish chiefs 10 konka ha ground hariho 2 ukiza kubuzo ubu ushanga ngo ariyo mishomo n'ibibingi ebe nagambo kitashemeza nsasire kukali bibi ya bindi ya mutuma mukama wa perumusha
and they are work another posted when they are still at school. Give that clarification.
Okay. Madam,
are they any work
abatire Kanyaryeru kandi abakushoma babo
posting and yet they were still at school.
Nani ikigaruka muri icyo kubanza kumupostinga abakozi office ya chairman tekutunga ho copy instruction posting instructions hoka koko bano following waza kubuza in charge ninga no ukiri kwataho akugira ngogo ayo misho yaba nabari absent umbintu bye konka answer ayo misho namwe ndigire kugira urukiko Mr. Chairman rwa PDM na yetaba parish chiefs bona kurabira omursasi konka bamwe ngo bari ya universities so ikindi gamba ni kiha ground
as parish chiefs not health.
No, even health workers.
Hati bamwambukiri ubwo bamutabugira Stephen Kashaka emazi kana woni siri anabagambire ntarezi yabantu bwirobo yes kandi kwako banagamba nawe inshobozi n'istora kuba serious kandi na nagambire yacamaze yagamba kugira ngo Kanyarire yira under the leadership of that man, Bajamuta committing our politics and what not, but it was there has been a total transformation of that sub-county. At least that one I can bear witness. I can't even bear a kind. So it is doing some good work. Can you imagine the plan? Yes, Ebuso was a Garakam, and Yabusuga, Kowaka Baron in a burning issue. I was sometimes a papara, but yes, you never watch class. When Shani, yes. Nijango Isha, when the issue to Gabe. By the way, when Shani, chairperson, LCC or when Shana Kashash. Namutan Shaba, Zakarijra Potunga Chasel to Mushabere, Manukia Steven. My friend but he has been represented, represented by this gentleman, very active. Yes, thank you.
Bari abashombi bagenzi banje DHO wa Kirihura district chairman LC5 na RDC ekyande taje cyane cyane abindi itwe ikaga twine sub county siba turire ubeshande sub county kwaro batshara batera mama isuzu batera musero ibakwegishije serejo abashaka kwintu bategana mununga bakazayo bayenda kubatererayo haza n'ikintu kibi abashaka kurerwa babona entambara terwo kokana bashikayo babateganza mazuma okay kashe harimo abashaka
I'm written to all of them what they say.
Okay. Ekindi egongora yitu ekwaterine n'amarisuso ngwenu turahari nanishaba akantu ako katwari nk'ikintu kikuru umukuru ko kuri ibintu byabo umukuru w'akabaro gushanga amarisuso n'ahantu hari mununga ko mwakutera yo kahereza sentatu mukaba mutiyande aho ko population yaheguru kandi tusime cyongeye kutukorera umushango w'itimuka nashikira indi cyaduveshana heresetafri iyo bari munonga itwaro tubakaba taragurwa kwa mukaga abantu kandi cyo ni ikigamba ni ikihaguraho bigiye bari kucyinduramo hata abantu baraguru kandi rero kubakereza mwe bari munonga.
Thank you very much.
Have they finished?
Yes.
The DHT members should come here and be responding. You come and screen them. But
thank you very much for those questions. I'm going to start by answering one question earlier, projecting the rest for us to answer.
It's supposed to be answered by the chairman of RDC. It has been outstanding. I've written to them and I've talked to chairman. It is the political leadership that must come and solve that impasse. That disagreement has been affecting us, we are aware, but the chairman, I don't know that I have received my copy of the letter. I've written to the chairman, I've written to the political leaders, the movement chairperson, and the DISO. I think that I've seen the DISO here, our DISO. Have you got my copy? Maybe he has left, but he was here. So they are the people, it is a political problem, not a medical problem. And it must be solved politically, to where the people think they belong in a Kizigiza. The second thing about LC Center 2. I hear people are talking about LC Center 2. And I want to clarify one thing. I was, my former minister, Chamazima, said I was the chairman. Yes, I was the chairman of DHO, but I handed over office. They also you hand over office in February. So I'm no longer handed over office as the chairperson Ginger. But I want to give you the experience I had when in 2016, when the issue of LC Center 2 was asked in a State House meeting before the president, the State House Centenary, and he gave guidance as follows. 1, for him, as His Excellency, he was not even aware how those centers were created, called the Center 2s. I think he gave a long-term explanation of the longer distances in his home yard in the Togamo. And he guided as follows. That a sub-county, if it is too big, you can create 12 center series. And we have done that in KIRUHURA, that this sub-county of Nyakasasana, we have already created 12 center series. The old one, And we upgraded this center city in the Rambira, which has been upgraded this year. So, what I'm advising you, if you believe there is a longer distance and there are so many people can benefit from services, the Ministry of Health is no longer creating health center tools because they are no longer viable. The Ministry of Health can create health centers which is viable, because if you have seen while we are performing in Poland, do you know it? My minister, I found that they had created so many health center tools, but the health center tools might be not delivered there. You understand? They are being created because of the outcry. I don't know whether I can project my form out. They are being created because of the outcry, but what is done in the center too is to treat malaria, outpatient, rather than delivering there, they are no changes. So no matter you are creating a problem that you are not giving adequate service to that population. You are just confusing them anyway. That's why you see, to me the strategic direction for KIRUHURA should be, one, you have seen that even the existing health center too, including the one which is here in Yakaita, we have started delivering mothers there. The center too, which is a very good example of Rwanyang. Where the Rwanyang in charge? Yes, thank you. That third center too, we have started delivering mothers there, and I'm happy to report that on average per month, 20 mothers deliver there. In that Kasimbo room, we are not even building another structure there. So what is the direction of that center too? That the direction should be to transform that to a center 3. If there is space, we create a maternity ward there. Are you getting? But I know that there is space. And we ask for an upgrade. So, because of the distance factor in KIRUHURA, what I advise the political leadership is to ask for more center 3, but nobody will give you a center 2. Because now that one, they are not cost effective. But when you're asking for a center 3, there must be justification. But again, because one of the issues of these meetings to really guide you is like the president or the cabinet or the minister wants people who prioritize properly. Me as the DHO, when I look at the problem facing us, before we go to that direction, can we first do what I'm saying today? Can we first try to make sure that Akayanja, which that is the sub-court without the center 3, gets the center 3, that's number 1. Can we first try to make sure? I'm always surprised the people who can show me, they advocate towards election for center 3, for center 4. But after elections, they keep quiet. Kashiogi now 7 years down the road has no center 4. Can we first try to agitate for center 4 in Kashiogi? The other issue, which can be justified, is this population around the road here, whether Kamyalieru, Sanga, and the Akayanja. This population lacks a place where a mother can be operated. Can we advocate for center? I believe those are very good priorities for the political leaders that we can easily justify. But now when it was supposed to create other center tools, that one it was put on hold. Now, as to whether Nama has enough population to have a center, that's the discussion. But I've just given you priorities now, which I believe can be justified before we proceed. Are you predicting this? No, you go up. You are displaying what? No? Okay, you go up. Yes. What's structure? Yeah. Today I believe, go down. Go down. Go down. Yeah, before you go back, you first go back up here and I explain this graph once again because it was, no, the other one? Yes, these graphs and the other graph. Now, what I want to show you here, for us to move this graph here, we have done 2 or 3 things. 1, to get the midwives in those stations. 2, we have tried to make sure that like a winter, which is not yet open, we started delivering from there. Have you seen it? We are conducting deliveries in the winter. We are conducting deliveries in Wamaran, which facilities are not yet open. So we are also now started conducting deliveries in Rwanyang. We are started conducting deliveries in Yakaita. So what we need is, in the short term, we need to first transform all of the existing center 3 in a brand new. You go up. The next one. Down. graph, the line graph, is this one. So you can see how this graph started off at 80%. And we are really monitoring it using the C2I approach, especially for the partners. And at all levels, every month we are intervening. See, what can we do to get more than delivery? So you can see the PDS every time we are saying, can we now open up this? Can we now open up a center to, can we put a midwife there? And here, the intervention that happened, we are game changers around here, is the Irascan opened. In the right time I opened that maternity. The same room, which is actually the same room which was actually working at the center too. So what it means is that where there are center tools, if we have midwives, all of them should deliver, apart from maybe Nyaksasara, which is near the center force. But this is all our center tools are actually future center series. If you look at their distances from the next place. But now I also agree with the chairman Chiloni that when you go to Machuchu there may be a long distance. But what I advise, if you want something that can be taken, ask for another center 3. Don't ask for center 2. When you ask for center 2, nobody will give it to you. 2, if you ask for it, if in an unlikely event that you get it, you will be creating more problems for yourself. Because you are just creating around 2 or 3 years workers who are giving you. Now, because now we have started delivering in Rwanyangwe, I think the population is more satisfied. Because at least mother come and deliver there also. But when Rwanyangwe was only a center for dispensing or whatever and what, I think the population had issues with it. But if a mother goes there and delivers and gets stimulated, so gets a complex list of services, that population around that center is more satisfied. I don't know whether it's possible projecting them. Richard, I want this question projected as we answer, so that we don't leave out others. Now, the other thing which Maimu Naruwelo from Kanyere, which he had mentioned and had been mentioned by Kinoni, that we have like 14, right now we have an average of 14, 16 LSA workers in every facility. But whenever you go there, you find 3. Then Richard Kinoni, can you come and explain that? Because for us, we don't post chairman. In my sector, I don't post anybody who is on official study leave yourself. That means those study leave you are talking about, they are locally organized between you and probably your sub-coordinative and the locally there. The person we post to you is somebody, when somebody gets a study leave from the commission, we don't post that person, okay? Okay, he can appear because now this assessment, maybe they may want marks and he can appear on the list. But posting, that the posting from CAO, we don't do it. We only post people who we know they are available. But we know, I know one common issue as a DHO, that the rest of workers who are on the main road, every time they choose and study something. And when they study something, working with your local administration, either the sub-county chief, they may try to make that unofficial things official, and then they confuse you. I think that's not official. But I want the Richard Chinoni, who is here, that's why he probably wake up. But remember, why did they find out the 3 people instead of the 14, 15? Can you come and answer that one? He has run away because he's maybe doing mistakes. Are you getting it? So Chairman, I think what's going on is illegal, which you must work with us and sort out. Are you getting it? Because I work with the 16 people. At least at any time there should be some 8. Are you getting it? These are off and you have some 8. These are in the lab, these are in what? But if you are finding 2 or 3, it is now a local arrangement with your administration initiative, which sometimes is taken as an official arrangement. Now, I want this MC to first ask about drug shops. Before this is the drug inspector. You then will see what is the drug inspector. So you need to first explain about drug shops.
Thank you very much. Chairperson LC3, but I want to start on a good note. And I beg your attention. Ekyokubanza n'okwikiza ngo abantu ba private clinics and drug shops harimu abantu barungi kandi bayambira abantu bingi. That was a good note. If these private practitioners were not existent, even these results, you get stockouts, people run to them. In any case, WHO ikakora research yashanga 70% of the population seek services from private practitioners. So we can't run away from what? From them. But what we need is what we have said. They need what? Our support. Because we call them, they are not our enemies in any case. We call them partners in development. Private practitioners, private health practitioners are partners in development. They support the government system. That's why we can analyze, and they have come to you. I normally see your signatures. I normally send people to them to you, but I see you have not had a talk one-on-one like what I've had in other sub-counties. Now, to jangwa so achama RC3 am confirming e papa kwa tajete chama nilo C3. Kinagete ntia yanga.
There's something very crucial there.
Yes.
No, what I want to ask, because it is you chairperson who sign on these drugs before they come to our office. I want to also ask you, because it will also disturb me, what do you base on to sign? Because now after you signing, then it is you now who is having issues. But what measures do you look at before you sign to send these people to us?
Dr. Abuzubuzo, I think that is also a philosophical one. Kongana kwenda to say okononga hapo kubacha person LCCs bakayeruka kuboneka in 2014 we had a meeting at council hall chura town council alikuwa abagabugine nabo abaganda since then hata kama tunakumesha kwa national government research but we have looked to LBA Dr. Zuteneleka we need another orientation meeting for all chairpersons, LCCs, and mayors. Kumanyamuga shogwa wo nuguha in ground regulation. Kande chini, we had a meeting which is a defeat. Yes. Yes.
The quality your health workers in those clinics. Do they have the competence? Are they qualified to offer health services? I think that's the issue.
Can also answer. Whether I'm chairman, we only supervising the clinics. I'm a health professional supervisor. Can't now see my great. But it is true, under the support of Mayanja, but we also support now supervising some clinics. And most clinics are being operated by non-professionals. So it is our weakness, and we should respond to your concern, and we sweep out those professional health workers.
Maybe to add on to that one, I'm actually very happy that this is coming here. And I'm actually happy that Honorable Chairman Zima and Honorable Mukaga are here. Now, when I joined this district, that was the first thing I saw as very strange of these unprofessional clinics. But I think I was about to make another mistake when I had just come and I warned by the chairman. I believe the chairman at that time was right. He said, Doctor, when you close these people, for us we don't have health centers, what shall we do? That was the first chairman. I didn't believe it, but later on I got to confirm that most of those sub-counties, there was an existing status race. So that means that those people were doing something. Then then another chairman comes, he also said the same thing. I also never first believed him. But down the road, I realize now, look at now what was in Wesande, what was in Rweta. There was nothing there. But right now, we have progress at the district. And I think this meeting is very good to help us on this. We have progressed at the district, and we have made sure that in every sub-county, we have at least put there a good center 3, apart from Wakayanja. So, the moment we have done that means now we need to agree. I want even this to be agreed, that you give us support to really work on those quirks in those sub-counties. Because before then, I had meetings with those chairmen whom I thought initially was wrong, but they were right. Because those quirks were only people doing some service there. Like if you look at a place like Rwenta, you look at a place now, those certain places that were there was no service. But we have put now competent health workers, we have put their infrastructure, and I think it's now the time to say, you support us through the chairman to really work on these people and close them. The problem, with support from Mayanja, we have started on something. And when we have been moved out for the last 2 quarters, with him and a few other we have already discovered and compare, we realize that we know there is a problem. But I want us to get political support to really work on these people and improve them. Like, if we are trying to improve the government system, we can improve this people slowly by slowly to where we want, to get the standard that we want. Otherwise, we're going to close them 10 years ago, because definitely there was no system in place in those counties too. The political leadership was seeing them as the only solution to the population.
Chairman, out to community engagement feedback. Urabuza kama gombora kama turaga ikiraro. Kumbe ni pandika report. I found it was becoming a duplication. Ekiri kinoni nicyo kirigwetamu, so I used sample ya agamwe na agarika na agata because it had become a duplication. So inshonga zibishana amagombora gona tinagata.
Midwife in Wamarata, if we follow this. Yes, Wamarata, on our, just like you were talking about, like what Chairman Kanyero said in Maimunaruel, that we post you people who are on leave. Wamarata, on our posting, there are 2 midwives. But the person is not on leave, the person is on sick leave, which we thought could have been resolved, but the sickness had been prolonged. And I've been monitoring with my teams, because that person is even elderly, but he's also about to retire. Through the one midwife, there was an application made yesterday for a second midwife. Actually, the person came to my office. And we are looking around. You see, when I was discussing with my sectoral community, I like this, that by improving services, we are creating a problem for ourselves. That before now, you have the government in Rwanda, and nobody was looking for those midwives. But now people are looking for them badly because you have the number. So these are problems that we need to solve gradually. That's when we need to look at and say, where can we get another midwife? And put in Wawarada. We are going to do it with my team. And if we identify one, we shall give you. But give us some few days because it's not easy. Why is it not easy? 10 years ago, I was able to post most of the midwives to Michelle. Why? All those midwives were not working. And therefore, we should have to benefit. But right now, I cannot put any single midwife in Michelle because the workload you have seen there in my center, you need those midwives there. So the pressure on the existing staff has increased because of the people now coming for service delivery. Okay? So that means we need, but the good thing, the government, just like all of you asking for more staff, even some ask for more staff from the chief. Now, the government has restructured. They have made a new structure for these health centers. And the structure was supposed to have been starting working first July this month. Where a center 4 is supposed to have like 80 staffs. A center 3, I think, has gone to how many? No, it has moved from 19 to like 40 something. 55. The center is going to have 55 staffs. And you see now, and in that structure, the law said that because the government does not process center to now. So, but that structure is not yet funded. So the structure is approved, but not funded. And they are by the districts. If you really have identified the weight, you recruit those staff. But now they are not giving you weight, but they are saying if you have weight. So it's a paradox. The structure is approved, but we are not going extra money. But we just pray, as more resources coming, maybe from oil or from where, we shall be able to find that new structure and there is satisfaction. But this demand is coming from the services that we are being provided. What? No, okay. GRM outside the district. Now, GRM outside the district chairman, my chairman, Ken Shunga. I think when we are starting, the first meeting we were in Kaswa. Did you come, chairman? In Kaswa. Then I think the second meeting was the second meeting here. What I am sure of, the third and the fourth were here. And this is the fifth. Now, when we consider venue, there are things we look at. One, first of all, this part of mine, you can look at the one we call pre-qualified hotels. However, if we are not come here, we are going to get a problem yesterday. You are going to find that the noodles you have eaten, you are eating them because you are pre-qualified and the partner can pay even after 1 month. Because they have been a supply of that company, of that project. Are you getting? But if you go to KIRUHURA, if by yesterday I was dealing with rural places which are not pre-qualified by some of these partners, I was going to part of this meeting last evening because I was under pressure and they were not able to identify funding. Don't record this. Are you getting? But because these kind of models already have been in the books, pre-qualified by many partners, it is easy. 3, we look at concentration. When you bring people out of the district, whether it is me, whether it is the chairman, he concentrates. If you imagine if you had gone to Mara, this is a meeting there, the other this would have had how many meetings? You would not even have given us time. Whether it is the chairman, whether it is the DH, and I know people are coming to my office and people are calling me, come with your cash, they call the DH go back. Now we wanted an environment away from that. We concentrate and get this one here out from the retreat. We sit and discuss with our people. Then by the time we go back, there is nothing else disturbing you. That's our consideration. Those things have determined the venue. So for the time I can't commit yet that we're going back to KIRUHURA because we will say earlier in September. Thank you. Then it is the workers, not problem. Then a clinical officer in Israel is also a staffing problem. I've told you for the midwives we are 100%. For the infrastructure, for the doctors we are 100%. But for clinical officers, for enrollments we are not yet at 100%. Now we look to people whom we can pay. We don't look to people who are not going to be able to pay because there is a demand. So if there is families that are being open, we want to put staff there, but our work cannot expand. And I'm happy to report that if you look at our staffing levels in the region, it is only KIRUHURA which has been able to increase those numbers to 80%. Even including Michelle, they are like at 60%. You are told you that they are 45% in Tuna. So, me and I am happy that we are where we are. We are far better than most districts. Those shall continue to lobby to get those staffs in, including the research assistant. Next, allowances for hospital net. Now, for hospital net, I think there will be some bit of miscommunication that I'm going to confirm. Now, what I get from ground and what I got from Kampala team is that these people are supposed to get sodas. And the question is, did we submit accountability for fraud on time? That's the question. From the supplier, not money. But I'm told you are promised that you are supposed to get money. But I'm still clarifying with the team from Kampala. The team from Kampala is telling me, you are supposed to, the support project are supposed to get soda, not money in cash. But now people, somebody told you that you're supposed to get cash, which was a bit, that's something I'm still following up and give you a proper feedback. Presentation not shared with participants. Now, presentation to be shared with participants. To me, I think that is a tick. Why? It means that what we have presented as that project, people will be able to read at it again. But I think we need resources. My partners are here. Because you can see, we had issues of resources. But I'm requesting my partners who are here, please find this process that what we have discussed here, we can disseminate these issues back there. Because I let me have the day go. I'm going with that was presentation, transfer, performing was replaced by non-performers. Now, performing replaced, first of all, in the appointment, my car was not here but represented by somebody, because I think you know he's preparing today as a wedding meeting for the daughter in Kampala. But a transfer of the staff. I saw Honorable Javadima and many of you say, thank you for coming to KIRUHURA. In the case I stayed in the vehicle, what would have been the explosion in KIRUHURA? Are you getting me? So the question is, because I was a very much answer regarding municipality, and this is a fact this way I'm not sure, but even when they called me for interviews, I told them I'm busy. So by the way, they were not asking me to get me here for the struggle. is that we want people to perform in all stations, improve it, get performance well, but even these ones who are growing, they must be able to improve performance. Now, myself in my own family, the DHO, I have seen LSA workers only the daily charges, who initially were not performers, who are performers now. Are you getting me? So what I believe as the DHO and LOU, if we manage people properly, people who are not performers initially may become performers if they are managed well. I know these partners know that there is one can now come to KIRUHURA, you must work. Because they know our systems were being put to them and they must. I know there is workers in other districts where people don't work and it affects. So let us now be flexible as political leaders. We accept those postings, but we work with us to make sure that the person who have given you from the law is able to perform. Because this is a worker, from his appointment instruction, Kami has worked in the Soroti, Kami has worked in Tororo, Kami has worked in Kaolo, Kami has worked in KIRUHURA, Kami has worked in Masaka. Why are we being able to do that? That my first appointment in public service, there is a rule which is very clear, that where needs arises, because we have a first appointment in central government, you may be required to serve in any part of the country. You see what I mean? I know you have been in the world, like I was there in the forces. In the forces, you may be required to be deployed in the good immediately. One of my mothers was there. Now, so the issue is, even if there is one where we say gap, and one facility is better, we try to cover a gap in another facility. Such that even you, the services given by this one also there are a lot of benefits. You are getting it. But if I replace another person, what we have to make sure that person serves better. Instead of you rejecting that I don't want this one to go, that one is creates a lot of confusion. What we want is the good performer, everybody to really test the good performer in the sub-county. Now, the other issue, police arresting and collecting money from people without parents. Is this police or assistant? Yeah, this is the head of this department. Comment.
First of all, I apologize for that. But again, we have a big problem, Chairman, and your sub-county is ranked as the worst in pediatric coverage, being 76. And of recent, I summoned the health assistant to my office to explain why he's not working. And he told me that he was being refused to do his duties and he had abandoned work. Now, when it comes to arresting, not having a pity latrine is criminal because you can cause diseases to your neighbor. And when it comes to arresting, the problem is extorting money. But if you can allow arrests, we can even commit them to court for being negligent and for putting Ugandans at risk. So nani nkushaba ekyo kwiha abantu sente mushtame nka sub county council muteho bylaws how you manage, because we may not really accept like Mboro Kanyajeru to keep in that status, and also by not allowing the health assistant to work. Nkagezaho kutaho what we call community-led total sanitation in like Mboro Kanyajeru, which failed. The other option was arresting. It has also failed. We have now devised means of now name and shame. Okuzubyaro tukandika abantu tukabadisiplayinga kweno bakagiration bakora, but Kanyajeru is not doing well in pediatric coverage. So you as a leader and your LC1 chairpersons, you to hold you and to be pediatric coverage. Thank you.
I see high electricity bills. You know, when you talk about that, I smile. Let me just give you my experience. I managed a private not-for-profit hospital in Tororo for 4 years. And then I managed a government hospital in Kaolo for 2 years before coming here. Now, when I took over the private hospital in Tororo after my master's degree, I found the hospital had been disconnected because of power and water. It was a very like a shed. So my first struggle was to look for money to reconnect the hospital, like that it can work. So the issue of utilities has been a problem for quite some time, regardless of funding. So when I crossed over to come to KIRUHURA, I spent 2 years before coming to KIRUHURA. In my first week, I was disconnected from power. And when I checked, the bills were so high. So the bottom line here, when I come to KIRUHURA, I find that we are upgrading these health centers. And when I look at the budget allocation for these centers, to me, as a technical person, that budget allocation is not sufficient, be sure, to pay utilities well. Now, our approach and my approach has been to have more of these centers that is connected to solar. Where things can be done by solar, we put there solar. And then we have less of umeme. These officers in my office can now know, we even when it was there, we have been working, they connected the whole district to what? To power, but now just remain on the solar. Until recently, when we had something to other thing put back on umeme. Paying for electricity bill, vis-a-vis the PX money we have now for this center is a bit complex and it's a bit challenging. Now recently, this issue went on the floor of Parliament. And I'm happy our MOP when they talked about this issue. Why don't we subsidize power for hospitals? Why don't we pay for power as if these hospitals are doing private work? It is still a bit of a complex issue. But what we can do in the short term is to have more solar connections to these facilities where it is possible. And then we use less umeme because the umeme bills are tricky for the hospitals. At the same time, I would like to thank Tasso team is here. For Children's Center 4, it has been paid for that machine. We couldn't pay the Children's Center 4, the child this year. We couldn't pay using their PX for closing samples. We will run to them, and I'm not happy. When you see our TV has improved that they were paying for extra bills, I call over. They go to see, I'm happy that when I cross the region, this is my own bill. We started together, Nkoyo, National started together, now UHM, we started together in Barada. So I have all these people who started together in Brian University. I can even call them when I'm in trouble. So when I call the Mayanja, he responds. When I call the Dr. Nkoyo, he has a plan to fix that power. Using money from a partner. So what we can already do is, but if you are talking about your 3 million, paying for power, paying for electricity, paying for outreach, it's a bit very complex, Mr. Chair. The complex thing, some of us were in those hospitals, we became stressed. You can now imagine when I was in Kaolo, I think this can be for, you have a line of people and accidents, but then you can't pay for power. Are you getting it? These are challenging situations, but we need to solve them together. Now, I don't have a clear answer, but it's something that's being handled at parliamentary level. Police arresting, some PhDs are selling one market to some extent, and yet they should not be free. Now, that one, I don't know who raised it, but I want to be clear on that. And I was with the PS, unfortunately she had not come here, but when she was in the council, when I contacted her to come for this meeting, she was asked about, Honorable Chairman was not in the meeting in the council, she was asked about drug stockout, and this is the way she answered. She said, she gave 2 answers. One, she talked about that underfunding, which I've actually explained to you. 2, she explained that the country where we have reached, we have not got enough money to fund everything. And I was actually happy to see that this came from the PS for the first time. Because some of us who have been on the front line, we knew that. I am actually trying to imagine that this mama kit, if it was sold at the time when the other mama kits are in the facility, then is the problem. But if this kit was sold during that time of 4 months when we had the stock out, probably it was sold to save what? To save life. But what we have advised our workers during engagement is that don't make the facility the shop. Let the shop be outside what? The facility. Do you want to comment on that?
I wanted to know if it is in the other thing of entrepreneurship.
No, entrepreneurship, we are still studying, they don't bring them here. But I don't know where it came from. So the issue is, what I have told people that we are lucky that we have given you some good qualified LSA workers. And we are lucky that the government delivers drugs. But the fact is, are the drugs enough? The answer is no. The question is, the next question is, what happens between when the drugs are stocked out and before you get another delivery? How will you deliver the service? I think that is something other this you need to lead us to discuss. That when we get the stock out in the facilities, what do we do? I know some of the people they get into trouble because they are trying to save lives. Are you getting? They are trying to save life and they are trying to innovate and they tell somebody to buy. So if somebody is trying to save life, then we may not be so hard on him. But if somebody is saying when we have hours, or is saying hours, that's where we have a problem. Not so? You are drug shop. You comment because this is in your area of drug shops. Comment on this.
Mama kits, which are given, which are supplied by national medical stores, are written home, government of Uganda, not for sale. They label even the soap and everything that is there. So when you happen to get it, you have as a time. If it is written on the government of Uganda, there you call us directly. I'm always on radio, and you can even call all these people. We have made some few arrests and cautioning, and some VHTs who were selling, they used to sell MRDTs. We have cautioned them, and we have their letters of apology. I have not arrested, I must be clear, but we have the letters of apology in our office. Yes, one more, I think this one is for you, doctor. It has just come in. I have an issue with management of health. When you post a midwife to head a clinical officer, can it work? Who heads who? It is going to, I think, to you, doctor. Someone has just, he has not put a name, but he has asked that I have an issue with management of health. When you post a midwife to head a clinical officer, can it work? Who heads who?
Oh, yes. Fine. Now, management is not about ranks. We have seen, and by the way, here we have not done it, but if you go to Bushenyi, I've shared with my brother of Bushenyi. Of course, Bushenyi, we have now come to the top of Ankole, but Bushenyi has been on the top of Ankole for 3 years and on top of Uganda. And he was posting images who are hardworking, who can be able to deliver, as long as somebody has the skills. Now, this issue of saying this is a clinical officer who has the diploma and that clinical officer is ever absent, he cannot be able to really give a good service. It does not make a lot of sense. So management is not about the high ranks. Otherwise, a DHO will not have been managed by a cow. Are you getting me? Because I think you understand that some of the DHOs have more degrees than some, at least I have a more qualified cow, sorry to say. But some of the cows we have had only 1 paper. But the cow is supervises me. So even at that facility, when we have a good nurse who is able to follow procedures and is doing very well, it is better than having a clinical officer. It's the same thing we have faced in Titula. Locally and Titula team, you are here. You have complained for 1 year. We gave you a senior clinical officer for how many? 2 years. Haven't you been crying until we removed that person? And the person we have put there is actually more junior than the Navy is. But they did performing. What I'm hearing is very happy. So it is not about the qualifications, or it is about your ability to manage systems. Are you getting me? And then comply with the administration. So don't say that I'm now more qualified. Yes, if you are more qualified, demonstrate to us that even on management you are there and you are going to help us. But you are more qualified, you go with your degree, then every time you are not there. Then how do you make you a manager? And I'm saying manager all the time, because now for you present your papers and then you are not available at the facility to do work. So those attributes, we look at them and but if we find that you are more qualified and you are there, we leave you there. Are you getting? But if you are qualified and you let us down, then we shall get a junior person to manage your system. Next. Find that for us as government, we are delivering service. Is that all? Okay, fine. I think we have attempted to answer. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda. Oh, you have more questions.
You wanted to make some comment? I see my chairman wants to come and...
No, can we agree that this is going to be solved between you and the chairman? Because it is a serious issue in Kanyari. Because we are not going to spend a lot of time. Can we agree that the chairman and the inspector, you harmonize outside here? or even another day? Okay, fine. Answer.
Before you come, maybe I will make this comment that His Excellency is promoting disease prevention, hygiene, and sanitation, and has put a lot of effort to that. And we are going to the communities to implement the directive. Actually, what is happening in your sub-county, maybe you come and explain how you support us to improve. Thank you.
Ebari munonga abantu bakura bebitinisa bari aha musasire cyanga ramzinda n'ekintu ekyagambwa publicly ngu Kanyaryeru 60% ngu tibaine bigo, it is 76. It is totally wrong. Ekintu ishwe yeti nkomwebembezi tinkubasa kureba abantu batine toileti nkekerezana nacyo konka omuntu kurugaha akakwata polisi atabandize kusensitizinga community aba batine facility ejo bakacyetegereza. Instead, listen to me, instead akakwata polisi akaza kutora abantu byaro akanga kubapenalizinga, instead akabihaho sente akagaruka akabarekura. Is that solution here?
Okay, now let me guide you. What I'm guiding, my assistant and chairman, this is why we engage you here. That's one of the purposes to get the feedback. But what I'm advising Godfrey and your team, you got to have a meeting with the political leadership in Kanyaryeru. That should be number one. Think that when you are intervening, the political leader, good enough even the speaker here, can we have a meeting with the political leaders first and they engage at the other side of the country instead of moving out? Now, if you have the engagement and it has steps, you engage, the next time you write. By the time you reach enforcement, you are passed through these stages. But if you just want to enforce without going through these stages, then this person will complain and cause us problem. And that element is that. So
we had CRTS.
Okay, it failed. Okay, I think, Chairman, we need to discuss with you and the speaker we have. Next.
Thank you very much. Nani bashaba mutero ngarabaga kamwe buzo. Yes. Chairperson Bugiri buzo byo bijanga garukomu ninga konsana zawe. Aba kikumanya Bugiri ni manya yonko muntu. Bugiri yaga bicinta nabaine point. Kandi namanya neza nawe ni mumanyi. Namwe namanya neza. Yes, hapana. Umushaburi kuja gushwera atanaza level. Another stakeholder meeting. Konka ecyo ndakubaga no kujya mumunyeneza nawe n'umuntu are honest and is very open. Ebyagambo birungi na aragamba mazima. Namwe yite gatanga mumunyeneza akashuru mu seminary school. Boza rero him. Ogeje shonge yabaho it can be solved outside this place and it can be solved amicably. That's what I'm very sure. Kacho ine chibuzo kabaje muzaje agenda mukama wanje. Nichi yasema mukama wanje. Time.
So if you ask a question, it should be answered.
Yes.
Ekiba dangar kamu necha kugira ngo urwetamu bagihere facility iri kubasa kuyamba wangi kandi etari kubasa kugiyamba habwa maternity habwa population yinyine na district zinyitoreye ni nyenda maternity space abo kwa nyinaba abakuzara burukanya batayine space.
Chairman, thank you very much. You know, when I first came to KIRUHURA, Chairman did not have a maternity. I don't know whether you remember that she did not have even a single maternity when I took over. And I remember in the first stakeholder meeting like this in Rushere, when I was meeting many of you, I noted that problem, that by that time there was no maternity at all in Kinoni. And I actually agreed that the first money that will come to my department, I will construct something in Kinoni. And when we got the first money, we constructed that maternity you have. However small it is, we constructed it, number one. I'm happy to note that right Southwest, who are here, they put in some money to renovate that maternity. And the maternity is a bit better but small. we would like to thank and acknowledge our service for that. Now, you know, when you buy brand new cars, you create a problem for the people having already cars. I know where the problem of chairman has come from. The new structures are too good to be compared to the old ones. That problem you have taken, it has not, even the industry has no need. Like now, Usanga, does Usanga have a maternity? No. Does Nyakasara have a maternity? No. After the maternity you have is better than probably the one of Usanga and one of Nyakasara Center 3. Where did we go wrong? When we were under Barara, the mistake which we committed, Dr. Manja was a councillor and the chairman was a councillor. We never facilitated names that were wrong. That means the only facilities should not have been called the center 3. They should have been called the center 2 because they could not qualify. Are you getting me? But by the fact that we know the level center 3, they are in the data of the newspaper, they know that these facilities have everything. But when I contacted the engineer or team, who is the engineer in charge of infrastructure, they were saying they are writing another proposal 1 back before these issues happened recently. That now this infrastructure of new upgrade has been so good. But can they look at also those ones, including Chinoni, Nyakasara, and Sanga, where they can they look at them and construct as a maternity? They were writing another proposal from what he told me the engineer and the commissioner to 1 back. That was 2 years back. And see if that proposal can also be bold. But I think all of you know what happened 1 back now. We are still in that Kwakamaya, but we just hope and pray that Kwakamaya is sorted out, then the 1 back has. But then the partners who are here, including rates, they are here. That's why I'm going to call them for you. If ever they get any funding and willing to expand that market in Chironi, I will welcome it at the DSO. So we shall look, Chairman, I'm aware about it, we shall look for funding to make sure that we work on our issue with the time, we work on the accessory market, and even work on Sanga. Those already Center 3 that were named Center 3 wrongly. When the structure there were not actually what Center 3 is. Okay?
Thank you very much, Doctor. Let's go back to the agenda. Abantu abinji bakupoininga bwesha nganya mtu wa kwezi. Waza agenda number 13, reward ceremony. Yes. Waza yes. This is chairperson. I join me show in my years and Basa Kumeta very fast. Other DC. Yes. And the speaker. Speaker is already here. After that, that's what I've been told. Yes, we are going to do it very fast. So when we are, yes. So I go, speaker chairperson, you know heads up, and then chairperson and chairperson LC5, you know yes.
Maybe before, let me comment something. Yes, I know there's no time, but we are going to reward outstanding performance. Those people who are not going to the work don't demoralize that you have not worked. All of us have worked, but we are only awarding outstanding. Continue working, next year you may be the one to be considered. That's all.
Yes, with RDC. I think you can work with RDC.
Yeah, as chairman is coming. This is your district local government certificate of appreciation. This is award is government Zelda. And the status officer for improved and social services at KIRUHURA Health Center 4. You can clap for her as she's coming. Next. Next is Kemirembe Eliot. Kemirembe Eliot. Ekishani murebe kintu kyamuzahi. Kemirembe, fight, hurry up. Kemirembe, twana namu mutiro bugara kagira mukakora kuko kumurita. Okozrichi, she's one of the best midwife in Zanzibar. Thank you. This is to satisfy and appreciate Akure Tumwesi. Tumutegereze laboratory technician. Thank you for the financial year 22-23. Ugunamanya kuchebera kamanyisha gamechukuru. This is the award Ndemirwechi Donna, Health Information Assistant. Health Information Assistant, Sanga Health Center 3. Thank you. Donna. Certificate of appreciation. This is to award to Shave Doreen, laboratory assistant, for your outstanding performance in TB case notification in all health facilities posted in financial year 2023-24. Okay. Gunamu wan sawa wakagongo. Certificate of appreciation. This is to award to you Aijuka Medad Porter as outstanding porter of the year 22-23. The best porter. Which station? Rwabijemano. Rwabijemano Health Center CV. Okay. Certificate of appreciation. This certificate is the award to you, Simirwe Joanita, EPI focal person, outstanding EPI focal person, 22-23. Sub-county is the Nyakashashara sub-county. Konkani wa ranking aka district on. Yes. So this is at Kunda Edith, health assistant, is outstanding health inspectorate staff of the year 22-23. From which sub-county? Nyakashashara. Nyakashashara? Yeah, okay. Nyakashashara. Rogers, which could have been a quarter of the world. Roger Z, FOIB, what are you doing? Huh? You are not happy for your colleagues. Dr. Zilibamzale David, former medical superintendent, KIRUHURA Register 4, for your outstanding contributions to health service delivery while at KIRUHURA Health Center 4. Thank you, Dr. Is in the district.